there, folks, and welcome back to the Gamer's Grotto. Tonight we're going to be playing Star Trek Resurgence. This is the PS5 edition. Now, I have streamed Star Trek Resurgence in the past, the original PS4 edition. And now I streamed that when it first came out, and it was full of a lot of bugs. And, it was a mess. It had missed dialogue, certain scenes were missing, game crashes occasionally. And that was on the PS4. Now, the PS5 version of the game is completely fixed. There's no missing dialogue. There's no crashes, no issues like that. As well, the game runs in a solid 60 frames per second on PS5 and has a lot sharper visuals as well. So I figured I wanted to do it anyway. I wanted to go through this and play it again properly on the PS5, the version that's not a mess. So we're going to do this tonight. We're going to play Star Trek Resurgence on the PS5. Now this game came out a year after the PS4 version, so they had plenty of time to rework it and fix all of the glitches and bugs. Now, whether the PS4 version has been fixed as well, I don't know. But this is, if you want to play Star Trek Resurgence on a console, this is probably your best bet, is to play it on the PS5. So having said that, let's go into the game right now. Let's play Star Trek Resurgence on the PS5. God, that interface is annoying. You can barely make out what you're selecting. I don't like that. That needs to be fixed. So that aside, I'm pretty sure this game runs a lot better than the PS4 version.
Captain's log, stardate 57931.4. The crew is restless. After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission. And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down. They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them. Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same. It's entropy, the nature of the universe. Change is inevitable. And while entropy says order gives way to chaos, in this case, change is good. Our new first officer is en route to the Resolute. Jara Rydek. I know she'll bring a welcome dose of new blood to the crew.
Thanks.
No problem.
I'm not great with flying. But these little shuttles are the worst.
Here's a tip. Don't close your eyes. You'd think that would make it easier, but it only makes it worse. Look out the window, pick a star, and just focus on that.
I'll give it a try. Sorry, I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
So am I.
won't be easy for Jara to step in at the 11th hour like this. But if she's half the officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy, she'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
Now, this game is, for those who aren't aware, this game was made by Dramatic Labs. Dramatic Labs is made up of employees from Telltale Games, and that's why the interface in this game is very reminiscent of the Telltale games, like The Walking Dead, the Batman series that I recently played. Stuff like that. The reason the interface is like that is, well, Telltale Games is basically worked on this game.
Starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
Now, this game, it takes place during the Next Generation timeline, more specifically after the events of Insurrection.
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the Academy.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Pintaris 5. Anyway, I finished in the top 20. Not just in my class. I mean, all time. In the history of the Academy. So, there's that.
Simulations are great for training, but they're not quite the same as the real thing.
That's fair. I guess I'm about to find out.
Please place your hand here. Hold it there for a few seconds. Welcome, Commander Rydek.
Wait, you're Jara Rydek? You absolutely crushed the Torvalin test. You finished in what, like the top 3?
That would be me.
Now I'm really... It's an honor to meet you, Commander. Sorry, I didn't realize before. I just came off the shuttle and was glad to be on solid ground.
The pleasure is mine. Ensign...
Paul Calloway.
Good to meet you.
I believe Commander Ermot is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
See you on the Resolute.
Now, already, if you saw me play the PS4 version of the game, you can see that the textures and the quality is a lot sharper. Everything is a lot more vibrant and a lot more fleshed out. As an example, Jara's hair in the PS4 version was just kind of like a mesh of textures. It was really weird looking. It didn't look like actual hair. And on the PS5 version, it looks like actual hair. It's really fleshed out on the PS5. And that's because they had an extra year to work on it, right? So, yeah, no, I would definitely say that if you're going to play it on any console, I'd say use either the PS5 or the Xbox Series XS version, as you'll get a lot better quality and higher frame rates as well.
So I'm looking for someone with blue skin. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm just... Well, I'm not sure where my departure dock is. The Resolute's gonna leave without me.
Look here. The Resolute is leaving from this dock.
Ah, you're right. Nerves must be getting to me. Thanks so much, Commander.
Yeah, you just about had your arm lopped off with that turbo lift, but fair enough. Let's wave from the turbo lift as the doors are closing. What a grand idea. Now, I will say one thing I love about this game, even the PS4 version, although it was a lot less detailed, is the level of detail in the game in general. Everything is just really well thought out, and really it really feels like an episode of Star Trek. It's very well done.
Excuse me, have you seen a Bolian around here?
Yes, sir. Right back there, near the replicator.
Ah, there he is. Thank you.
Happy to help, Commander.
Now, another thing to mention, if you have this game on PS4, the PS5 version is a free upgrade. So don't hesitate to grab the PS5 version if you already have the PS4 version. It will not cost you any money.
I'll replicate myself a meal once I'm on board. Starbase 128 has 4 docks. Excuse me.
Hey, you hear the Resolute's getting a new first officer?
Someone from the crew got promoted?
No, get this. They're from a different ship.
Whew. Wonder how the crew feel about that.
It makes them look desperate. Is their crew that bad?
Yeah, not a good look.
Welcome to the edge of the galaxy, Commander Rydek. I'm Commander Jan Ermot, Operations Officer on the Resolute. Commander? I hope there wasn't too much trouble getting here. This storm isn't making anything easy for us right now.
It was a bit bumpy, but otherwise okay.
My apologies. This storm is unlike anything I've seen before. We're grateful you were able to come fill our first officer vacancy at such short notice. From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were available to us. Coming from a premier starship and all. To our little research vessel.
What exactly have you heard about me?
First in your class at the Academy. Received the Starfleet Award of Valor during the Dominion War. Most recently, Tactical Officer and Chief of Security on the USS Endeavor.
You've done your homework?
Like I said, we're very lucky. The USS Resolute. She may not look like much compared to the bigger ships, but as far as science vessels go, she can more than hold her own. And she doesn't look so bad considering 6 months ago she was nearly cracked in half, venting plasma, fighting for her life.
It was an accident?
The equipment malfunction. An accident suggests fault, but no one's to blame. It was a planned test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but it was more than she could handle. Cost us our first officer and 22 of our crew. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for each other. That's what it means to be a crew.
I can't even begin to imagine what that must have been like for you. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you. It does weigh heavy. There are some things you can't forget.
Did you lose anyone close to you?
Too many. And to that I'll just say, you have big shoes to fill. Listen, I realize you've known Captain Solano for quite some time, and I'm sure you're ready to bring your best. but I should warn you that when the captain announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly at first. Until they come to value your contributions as much as he does.
Trust is earned, and it sounds like I have my work cut out for me. But I plan on winning them over.
I don't doubt that. I just figured it was better to know what you're walking into.
Of course.
Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to the Hotari region. I'll let the captain brief you on board. I know he's eager to see you.
Will we be mission ready in time?
We have every intention. The crew has been working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's still so much to do.
Stuck. I got just the thing. Is that.
I never understood that thing that he does where he just like wipes his thumb against his nose. That's like a thing he does all throughout the game. It looks weird to me, I don't know. It's a bit strange. Now I was going to stream some other games tonight. I was looking at my library and thinking to myself, what do I want to stream tonight? I know that I wanted to stream something, but I couldn't figure out what. Originally the plan was to stream Bramble, the Mountain King. But then I realized, going through my list, that I always wanted to stream the PS5 version of Star Trek Resurgence. So I decided on this for tonight. I probably will do another stream tomorrow or something, and we'll do something a little bit new. I also have Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which I do intend to stream at some point as well. So yeah, we got a big library of games that we're gonna stream. I'm probably going to stream something that hasn't been streamed before on my channel tomorrow. Do you need any help?
Okay.
I dropped a non-ferrous connector between the coils. I'm gonna have to remove a few of them to find it, and then...
Ooh, then another hour of recalibrating. Ouch. I'll leave you to it.
Carter Diaz.
Hey, lady, no. Just wait. I'm helping other people. It's called being nice. Look it up. I love the detail of all of this. It's so freaking cool. That was one of the things I really loved about this game, is that it feels like the creators of this game definitely did their research when it came to Star Trek. It's honestly one of the better Star Trek games, adventure games that I've played. And I mean, I've played a lot of them. I played Star Trek 25th Anniversary, Star Trek Judgment, right? Star Trek The Next Generation of Final Unity, all of those classic games from the 90s. And I think I even have some of the streams of those games on my channel if you look back far enough.
Hey Diaz, have you seen a hyperspanner around here? I last saw it near the shuttle, Ptarmigan.
I'll let you know.
What is this guy doing? Sir, are you drunk? What are you doing? What are you looking at? The shuttle? Are you lost? This isn't the bathroom. Alright, let's grab her tool.
That's not where that goes. can figure out where you're supposed to be.
We already know where you're supposed to be. We just talked to the girl who's missing it. She said, but near the shuttle Ptarmigan, which is right there. Carter, you really need to listen. There you go, a tool for a tool.
Oh, hey, there it is. You're a lifesaver, Diaz.
Well, I don't know about that, but I try.
He is very egotistical, I find. Just like so full of himself. Alright, next up is the transporter. The guy over here needs help with the transporter. As for you, lady, just go do your own thing. I will come eventually.
Can you give us some help with the transporter?
What's the problem?
We need to test this cargo transporter. I've never been that great with the signal plotting.
I got it. No problem.
Now, in the original game on PS4, this was really challenging. They made these a lot harder than they needed to be, and thankfully, they fixed them so that these puzzles are not as stupidly hard as they used to be. Because I remember you would spend like a good length of time trying to figure this out. Maybe not so much the transporter puzzle, but certainly other puzzles. And thankfully, when they released the PS5 version, they fixed all of the puzzles difficulties, so they weren't challenging and they were kind of more fun and less stressful to solve.
Don't tell Chovak.
Not a word.
Oh, these are heavier than they look. Makes more sense than 0G. You're welcome. So clean I can see myself. And you know what? Not half bad.
And again, going back to the egotistical part of what I said, he is very full of himself.
A place for everything, and everything in its place.
I'm trying to remember who voices Josh Keaton voices this character. Yep. So, for any of you who don't know who Josh Keaton is, he is obviously a voice actor. He has mostly been involved in the 90s Spider-Man series. Or no, actually it would have been the early 2000s, I guess. There was a Spider-Man series, I think it was called The Amazing Spider-Man or something like that. I don't know. It was a cartoon series, and Josh Keaton was the voice of Spider-Man in it, and that's what I mainly remember. What? Okay, that's a glitch. That doesn't usually happen. That's weird. That's the first time that's happened on PS5. Oh well. Maybe I'm Odo. I just slurp through doors.
Good looking out though.
Yep. Can somebody maybe see if the people who are in the wall trying to open these doors are dead? Maybe that would be a distinct possibility that they have died. All right. Continuing on.
Good to see her fully operational again. And if she breaks, we'll just fix her.
Junction 34B gives you access to the tubes behind cargo storage all the way to the turbo lift.
Not after the retrofit. Bulkhead cuts it off at Section 2. New computer reroutes.
So then...
I'm thinking we'll have to do the work in that tube. Then take the turbo lift from Section 2 to Section 3.
Well, wait, there's a subfloor crossover around Junction 32E.
What do you have against using the turbo lift?
Nothing, I just like being in the tubes. It's my domain.
Oh yeah? Let me lock you in them. Where's the lock switch? We're gonna lock you in them for eternity. You're gonna die in those tubes, buddy.
Hey, need any help? Good luck.
Yeah, just ignore me. It's fine. It's not as if I was being nice or anything. Let's get the hell out of here before I act too nice.
I heard the new XO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovak called us down for, it's something good. I can never tell with him. I'd rather not end up degaussing plasma manifolds.
You and me working together, we can tackle anything he throws at us.
Your optimism is positively contagious. Looks like we got here before.
Lieutenant Commander Chovak.
We were just looking for you, Commander.
Petty Officers Edselar, Diaz. I was beginning to think you would be late. We are all hands on deck right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you. A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officer Edselar on repeated occasions.
Apologies for the delay, Commander.
I do not want your apologies. Simply see to it that it does not happen again.
So, I don't suppose you wanted us down here to check in before we go off duty?
Equip yourselves in EV suits to work on the exterior of the hull. I need you to tune the structural integrity field for optimal performance. The subspace distortions and ionic interference we are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the storm. The precise nature of these disturbances are not fully understood. But many systems have been affected by the wide band of emissive activity.
Whatever it throws at us, we'll be ready. We've got the best chief engineer in the fleet.
I am a Vulcan, Mr. Diaz. Flattery is not necessary. All that I require is that you do your job. Right now, that entails critical preparations, because long-range sensors show that these disturbances will be more severe at our destination, the Hotari system. You have your orders. Do not delay.
Yes, Commander Chovak. All hands on deck.
What's that?
All hands on deck. That's what Chovak said. You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule.
It all comes down to us, Nilly. We're the ones who will get it ready.
I know what we can do. But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Oh, whoa. Excuse me.
And yeah, that was the guy from earlier on, the one that
It's got to be tough coming as a...
the one that we met as the commander.
That's for sure.
Give them a
They
chance.
seem all right. Something that happened 6 months ago while they were off on another ship? Well, that's nothing to hold against them.
Yeah, you're right. I guess getting a little new blood on board.
The biggest thing I've noticed with the PS5 version of the game over the PS4 version is there is a little bit more ray tracing and better lighting effects and better reflections, as well as a lot more detailed textures, and of course the higher frame rates. So all in all, this game is actually just really good on the PS5 and really not on the PS4.
Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely. I wasn't sure what to expect.
Don't talk badly about one of the best ships in all of Starfleet.
We've rebuilt enough of her by now. She better be one of the best.
We'll see about that. But I am glad to be here. He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy. Don't think I forgot.
Oh yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome. As soon as we wrap up this quick little spacewalk.
Here, let me help you.
Thanks.
So what's the word? Are you back in the security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa.
Good to go. See you on the other side.
Activating magnetic souls. you never gets old.
Let's go.
I'm pretty sure I mentioned this during my original playthrough of the game back on PS4, but I really like this camera transition where it goes, you know, swoops around from them to back to being the commander again. It's a really nice transition, and I really appreciated it on the PS4 version, just like I do on the PS5 remaster.
You'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home. And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
I can't believe he keeps this around. Don't even know where mine is. He's still got a thing for trains. The warp engines of their day, apparently. We'll be out there soon. Going where no one has gone before. The first mineral Captain Solano ever discovered. Always was the nostalgic type. Just a sip of something. Ractigino. That sure has a kick.
Jara Rydek. Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrit Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute. The only regret is that we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare. But, unfortunately, we've had our hands full with the refit.
That would be totally unnecessary. I don't need any pomp and circumstance.
You've been here all of 5 minutes, and already you're trying to make us more efficient. I like it. As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage, but not nearly as much as the crew.
I assume you mean the accident.
That's right. The tragic accident, really. We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed. What would have been the crowning achievement of my career. Right there. Within our grasp. Until it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship can handle. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make. And I have to live with the consequences.
You're being too hard on yourself. It wasn't your fault.
It's not a question of blame. It's about responsibility. No matter what the circumstances. In my defense, I will say, I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO. And I think that cost me his confidence. I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission. Anything short of that just won't work. And that's when things start to go sideways.
This is your ship, and you are the captain. So as far as I'm concerned, whatever you say, goes.
That's the kind of support I'm looking for. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least, I can't. I feel like my career is hanging in the balance here. We need a win. Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. Two previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also a mission for which we're uniquely qualified. This ionic storm. Our long-range sensors suggest it's several orders of magnitude stronger than anything on record. A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before. And you'll never guess where it leads.
Hotari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed. Where I imagine the interference will be exponentially greater. But the diplomat will brief us on the details of the rendezvous.
But are we prepared to embark on the mission?
As much as I'd like to think that's true, I have my doubts. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I expect we'll have some rough sledding when we arrive, so I need you to prepare the crew for the worst. There's just one more thing I want to clarify up front. The metric that for me will be the ultimate measure of your success.
What is it?
If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you. But it goes without saying, you have my full support.
Little do you know,
Dream of mine, since before I can remember.
you will
So
be
I
around to
honored
command your ship.
to become a captain someday.
As long as you're willing to do the
Another
work,
thing to mention is that Jim Meskimen is the voice of Captain Solano in this game, and he does a fantastic job. He's also the voice of an alien that we'll meet later on in the game as well. Jim Meskimen is in a lot of games and does a number of celebrity impersonations. He's most famous for Robin Williams. He does a spot-on Robin Williams. And he's also a YouTuber as well. So I think his YouTube channel is just Jim Meskimen, so you can look him up on there. He does live streams as well. I think it's like every Friday he does a live stream where he has his fans join in and ask him to do various impersonations and stuff like that. But yeah, he is the voice of Captain Solano in this game and the voice of another character we will meet later on in the game.
Everyone, if I could have your attention for a moment. I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
One of?
Well, what he lacks in humility, he more than makes up for in ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our Chief Science Officer. I've come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Commander Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian, who's been looking forward to meeting you for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time. And I look forward to learning as much as I can from you.
If anything, the honor is mine.
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad. Because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves. And you...
So basically you're not even interested in me, you're just interested in the fact that I'm a specific alien race. Cool.
So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done, but you definitely set a standard to strive for.
You really do know a thing or two about me. I'm glad I could inspire you, but it's important to chart your own path.
Thanks. You can count on it.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Ermont. Please, do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase. Have an urgent meeting with the starbase commander to get our authorization to get underway.
This entire dialogue right here was missing from the PS4 version of the game. It just like skipped right past it.
The bridge is yours.
It literally skipped right past that entire scene, and then when he said the bridge is yours, he went, the bridge is you, and then that was it. I was just like, what? What just happened? So yeah, like I said, the PS4 version is missing a lot of dialogue, and is kind of glitchy. Well, let's look around the bridge before we acquaint ourselves with the chair. Yeah.
Communications. Keeps us in contact internally and with other vessels. The helm. The Resolute is a refitted Centaur class, meaning it's capable of quick maneuvers. Can't wait to see what she can do.
I love how they just let you look at the con, but they don't let you look at ops. It's like, well, they're not important, obviously.
Science station. The Resolute is a science vessel, primarily. Might explain Commander Westbrook's attitude. I'll have to speak with him later. So many decks. Full of crew that are now my responsibility. Operations. Staffing.
Oh, ops is over there.
There's a lot to
Okay.
keep track of on a starship.
Never mind.
Good thing we have Commander Ermont.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, no, that makes sense, because... Alright. Anyway, let's head to the command chair.
Tactical hollow dais. Just like they've got on the Excelsior. The first officer's seat. My seat. Right now, though, I need to fill in for Captain Solano. Tactical station. Hopefully a diplomatic mission won't require we use our weapons much. But if it comes to that, we'll be ready.
Commander, Chief Engineer Chovak needs to lower the structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm. We just need your go-ahead.
Permission granted.
Lowering structural integrity field, now.
Entering maintenance mode. Condition blue.
storm is getting worse.
Looks like they turned off the SIF.
Great. Let's get to that emitter. Every time we're out here, I half expect to see her in pieces again.
She's still got some scars on her. It adds character.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of the ship?
No. Sometimes it feels like we're just part of machinery. Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine.
Yeah, of course I do. Starfleet's an open door. We just have to walk through it. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere, see new worlds, look up at a sky no one's ever seen before. Just because I'm cranking a hyperspanner up in a Jeffries tube today doesn't mean that's all I'll ever be. Diaz to Commander Chovak. We are at the SIF emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
Beginning recalibration. Looks good. That wasn't so hard.
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive. Yes, I'm the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out. Better than just about anyone.
What a very impressive list of credentials.
This is a research and discovery ship, first and foremost. Now with a former tactical officer as its new first officer. I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd choice for first officer, given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then?
Hello.
Hey James, how are you doing this evening? I hope you're having fun. You're gonna really like this game if you've never played it before. It's an amazing Star Trek game, probably one of the best.
But not outside the realm of possibility.
In my entire career, it's never been an issue, or caused the slightest problem. And I don't expect this to be any different.
I was just curious, that's all. Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal. I mean no disrespect, but the shoes...
So this game is made by, as I said earlier, this game is made by the creators, by Telltale Games under their new company, Dramatic Labs.
I can only hope that you'll live up to expectations.
Could never fill his shoes.
I don't think I could ever replace Commander Sutherland. And it would be a mistake to even try.
Seeing as Captain Solano is on the starbase, let me give you an update on this ion storm we're flying into. It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen. At the moment, I can't tell you if the Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about its patterns, its nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure. Just a moment.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound. On screen.
I'm good, yeah, I know nothing past Star Trek, past the original and next gen lol.
Oh, you don't need to know anything about that. This is set in the Next Generation universe. As a matter of fact, Commander Riker is in this game. Yeah, no. This is in the Next Generation universe, buddy. So you won't have to worry about it. And it's a part of the original series, too, because as you'll see, one of the original series cast members makes an appearance in a little bit.
2 minutes.
Red alert.
Aye. Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting sensor visualization on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection. I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
There's a better way.
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
That's right, which is why we need to send power to our shields.
Bedrosian, get those shields up.
Rerouting power to shields. Stand by. I need a heading. We've only got one shot.
Understood. On my command.
Heading locked.
Raise shields.
This is it.
All hands, brace for impact.
What happened?
We have experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma.
So I have streamed this game before in the past when it first came out for the PS4, and then I got a remaster a year later for the PS5, and I always wanted to stream that version because that version is the best version of the game. And so I'm doing it tonight. So it's been a while since I streamed this game. When I streamed it on PS4, it was a buggy mess. A lot of the dialogue was missing, and there is a lot of game glitches, occasional crashes, that kind of thing. Thankfully, the PS5 version of the game is the superior version of the game. It has a little glitch here and there maybe, but certainly not nearly as bad as what was on PS4. And it looks a lot better too. It's running at a 4K resolution at 60 frames per second. Barely any loading times. The PS4 version of the game had some loading screens and stuff like that, and the PS5 version barely has any.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
What if the discharge is coalesced?
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really enough.
I love how within the first 5 minutes of this game we're already like on walking around on the exterior of the ship shooting at energy. This game just gets so crazy so fast, and I love it. It feels like like I said before, it feels like an episode of the actual show of the Next Generation. It's just so... It's so well written. The creators of the game obviously knew what the hell they were doing, and that's why, in my opinion, Resurgence stands out as one of the better Star Trek games. I would say it's on par with the original Star Trek point-and-click adventure games from the 90s. So Star Trek 25th Anniversary, Star Trek Judgment Rights, as well as Star Trek The Next Generation, A Final Unity. Anything past that, and the Star Trek games kind of ventured into weird territory. They became tactical space simulators rather than what they should have been, which was adventure games at heart.
But I imagine this is set after that episode.
This is set in Star Trek Resurgent. What am I saying? Star Trek Insurrection. I believe it's either Star Trek Insurrection or Star Trek First Contact, the Next Generation movies. So that's what the timeline is in this. Don't worry, you will see regular cast members from those series making cameos in this game. As a matter of fact, our first cameo will be fairly shortly, and no doubt you'll get a kick out of it. Alright, let's go. What's taking so long?
We're almost to the regulator.
I know. Freaking help. Fire back at them. Why do I have to do all the work? There we go.
We're at the regulator. Opening the access panel.
I am now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
Don't worry, Jovak. I can handle it. Unlike you, who's just giving me orders and not doing anything.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral.
Okay. This is a simple matching game. So all of these mini games where you're messing around with the Starfleet electronics and stuff like that, they're all kind of little mini games, and they're actually quite fun. And I do love the attention to detail. Like earlier when we were ripping apart a shuttlecraft, it's just really cool. Like everything about this game is so detailed, and I don't know. It's the first time you ever get to be like an engineer in Starfleet in a game, right? It's just really cool, and you're fixing the ship and stuff like that. It's never been done before in another Star Trek game, so it's pretty cool that they decided, hey, why not have one of the characters you play as be an engineering officer, and then the other one be the commander.
Get down! DS to bridge. We just lost the docking clamp. We've got a lot of debris coming down. All vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working?
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
We have crew outside and are looking for the
safest way. We have people on this station. If that mooring arm breaks, we could lose dozens of crew.
Commander, hear me out. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order. Jara?
Captain, you brought me here because you trusted me. Can you trust me now?
You better be sure you make the right decision.
The captain made himself quite clear.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there. Reverse the polarity.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
What is the holdup?
Starbase, stand by. We're gonna flip hull polarity to disengage the clamps.
Yes, Commander.
Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are going to reverse hull polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark! Ah!
Grab my hand! I got you.
Thank you.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it. I got you. Petty Officer Etzelar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. You are at risk of triggering a substantial electromagnetic arc if you approach the main hull the way you came.
But Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There is an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Etzelar there to access the interior.
Roger that. I'm at the auxiliary hatch.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this. Get in there!
You better be right behind me. We're in.
They're safe, bringing the SIF fully online.
Do it.
Carter.
I'm okay. But that's a lot.
Here, let me help you. Medical. We've got one wounded at my location. Millie.
Oh, man.
We'll see you at sickbay.
So you'll notice that the PS5 version has instant loading times, like I said earlier. On the PS4 version, when I streamed it when it first came out, the loading times were quite long. More longer than they should have been between each scene. And so it's really nice to have the PS5 version, which has instant loading times and, you know, much higher graphic resolution, no bugs, or at least very few, and no missed dialogue, which is really nice. It feels like a really fleshed out game on the PS5, whereas the original PS4 version that I streamed felt very rushed.
You disobeyed my orders. Well?
I'm sorry for that, Captain. I did what I thought was...
You disobeyed my orders! And not just in front of the bridge crew, but the Starbase staff as well. That's going to get around. My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower decks.
Maybe I shouldn't have disobeyed a direct order. But you were wrong. You weren't on board, and you didn't have all the information. So I made the right decision for the ship. If you're worried about your credibility, put your ego aside and trust your crew. Trust me.
You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Oh no, not Chovak. Not the moody Vulcan in engineering. Whatever will we do? He doesn't like the fact that I did something that was against the captain's orders? Oh no.
And, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done.
Nobody cares about Chovak.
No, if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down to, you did what you had to.
Thank you for understanding, sir. I'm sure no one knows the burden of command as well as you do.
I'm sure you will, someday. Despite it all...
And that's how you defuse a situation. By complimenting the captain.
Knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs.
Because 5 minutes prior he was... Well, not 5 minutes, but a few seconds prior he was yelling in my face. And now, thanks to the compliments, he's complimenting me back.
All departments reporting full mission readiness. We've got our full complement on board.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge.
Sit. Sit, everyone. You all know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
Also, it's set basically after the Next Generation series ended and during the time all the Next Gen movies started.
Yes, yeah, basically. But you're gonna see some characters from the original Star Trek series, like the 60s series, in this as well. I'm not going to say who, I'm not going to say what, I'm not going to say where. You will find out soon enough. But it's really good. It's quite a long game. It's not short. It's going to be in multiple parts, obviously. But it is one of the best Star Trek games out right now. I mean, we played that Star Trek RPG the other couple of weeks back, and that one was pretty good too. I actually enjoyed that one, and I do intend to go back to it at some point on this channel. But this one is definitely the superior Star Trek game, at least modern one. I really enjoyed this one a lot. Even the broken version that I streamed on PS4, I loved the story. The story's freaking good.
Engage.
Are the Borg in it?
No, there is a new alien race that threatens everybody. We will find that out soon enough. Nope. Entirely original story, actually, James. Not based off of any Star Trek story at all. It's an entirely new story with a few cameos thrown in.
Really?
You don't look so good.
Uh-oh. Your duridium levels are low. I can already tell before I even look at the ring. Yeah, you're in the red. You need to go to sickbay, lady. You're gonna die. Go meet the doctor. And get some meds.
Help me get her inside.
Now, the Doctor is played by Deborah Wilson. For those of you who don't know who Deborah Wilson is, she was a regular on Mad TV. She has also been in multiple games, such as the Wolfenstein series, specifically Wolfenstein 2, as well as in Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Order, and Jedi Survivor as Ciri. So she's been in a lot of games, and she's in this as the Doctor.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval. I've never met a Kobliad before. You're
rare. I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the duridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet and managed to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
It does make me unique, but it's not a burden at all. I'm honored to be Kobliad, to represent my people.
As you should be. And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable.
Another thing you will find Deborah Wilson in, come to think of it, is the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game. As well, she was in the Batman Telltale series that we streamed. She's in the second season of the Telltale Batman series. But yeah, she's in the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game as, I can't remember her character's name. Amanda Walker, I think her name is, or Amanda Waller, that's what it is.
Major innovation. Something he can put his name on.
I won't let that happen.
The more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take.
I hear you. But that's my job, isn't it? To make sure that doesn't happen. And we don't lose sight of the bigger picture.
Which is exactly why I'm so glad you're here. We need you now more than ever. And I have to give you credit for what happened on the bridge. It took guts to defy a direct order.
Huh. I guess word travels fast around here.
It's a small ship.
Now, on Mad TV back in the 90s, Deborah Wilson was famous for multiple skits. More specifically, she did a dead on Oprah Winfrey and did a lot of skits making fun of Oprah Winfrey. You can find a majority of those skits on YouTube. Simply look up Mad TV Oprah Winfrey skits, and you'll find Deborah Wilson in all of those videos on YouTube.
My work here is done.
Are there any characters who act stupid when Riker shows up and goes, "I think that's Commander Riker"?
No. No, this is actually really well written. Everybody knows who Riker is.
No one knew what was happening.
I'm gonna be nice.
I'm feeling much better. Thank you. It's just part of who I am.
You don't have to explain to me. I understand. I'm just glad you're okay. You trusted me earlier.
Oh, don't worry. I'm hunky-dory.
I want you to know that I have your back.
Thank you.
And I have your front. Wait, what? And now we're back to playing Diaz. We switch back and forth between Diaz and the Commander. So we get both sides of the picture. We get to experience life as a engineer on board the ship, as well as life as a commander. And yes, don't worry, there is a lot of planets we will be beaming down on, and we'll also be flying shuttlecrafts as well. So there is a lot of adventure elements into this game, and it's a lot of fun.
Excuse me, Commander Chobot.
Petty Officer Maris, I will leave you to your work.
I stopped by sickbay and saw Millie. I figured you'd want to know.
Did the doc get her fixed up?
She's stable. There's something about the storm's radiation that's making it hard.
What is with the background noise? It sounds like there's about 700 people in the shuttle bay.
She's toughing it out.
This sounds like the background sound you would hear if we were in like 10 forward.
Come on.
Not in a shuttle bay.
Final diagnostic.
It just ends as soon as they go in the shuttle.
I can't stay long. I've got a long to-do list before we get to Hotari, and things are piling on faster than I can check them off.
That's nice. Nobody cares. Let me tell you.
Security too.
I don't want to keep you.
Hey,
Leave.
you don't have to keep me company. If you got things to do, go do them.
No. I'm here because of my to-do list.
Oh?
There are some things that never seem to have the right time. So why not now? I had a chance to think about this while I was away.
Mm-hmm.
You and Millie almost got killed out on the hull. And
I think we know where this is going, and the answer is going to be no. I am not going to date you. Are you okay?
Is everything all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Maybe even better than fine.
You won't be after I say no.
What I'm trying to say is, we've been really good friends for a long time.
You're gonna want to kill me after you hear my answer to this.
I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
Are you sure about this?
They're my feelings. Of course I'm sure. I know what I'm asking, which is why I'm being direct. I like you, Carter. And I think there could be something more for us.
I think we should keep things the way they are.
Now, in case you're wondering why I chose We'd Be Better as Friends, is because I really don't like this character. At all. I find her too in your face all the time, especially near the beginning of the game when you first meet her. Something about her just always rubbed me the wrong way, and she's just really annoying as a character. And in order for there to be a relationship when you're playing a game, you have to be able to like the character, you as a gamer. And if you don't like the character, then why would you want to date them in a game? It makes zero sense. That's why in Cyberpunk, it was really, you know... We're friends always. Yeah, sure. Whatever.
No matter what.
Yeah. You got a friend in me, blah, blah, blah. Get out of my shuttle.
See, you even know the stuff I don't.
And there were actually 4 of them.
What would I do without you?
Level 1 diagnostic complete.
I don't suppose we can forget this conversation happened. Just don't make too many jokes about it, okay?
Oh, don't worry. You will be the butt of my jokes. I have zero respect for you, lady.
Approaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
I'm throwing shade at Rosh from Jedi Academy. Remember his classic line when Luke showed up, grinning, squinting face.
Shield integrity holding.
We can take it.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah. Hey, that's Luke Skywalker, isn't it? Yeah, now I remember.
Reduce the noise. Filter out environmental signals.
I think he was voiced by, pretty sure Rosh was voiced by, oh god, what's that? Khan!
I've located the shuttle.
Very good. Wrong game, Lewis, but very good. This is set in the Next Generation universe, so Khan doesn't exist. At least, not yet. Maybe he comes out of cryogenic submersion. Who knows? We'll find out. No, we won't, because he's not in this.
Transporter lock. It's just not happening.
But
power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
yes, sir. And I suppose this is my responsibility.
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Yes, sir.
Why Jonah Jameson is the captain? I never finished the game. Does Rosh die?
Jonah, Rosh, I think, I haven't finished the game either, but I'm pretty sure I heard that he joins the dark side, and that you have to fight him. Jonah Jameson. That's funny. Why isn't this selecting? Oh, I have to select the shuttle. I'm an idiot. Let's play Spin the Shuttle! Could you imagine J. Jonah Jameson in Starfleet? I'm mainly here because I'm after Spider-Man!
That doesn't surprise me.
Oh, come on. Let's not destroy our mystery guest who James is waiting to see. Let's not kill him. There we go.
That's gonna take out the shuttle. Diaz, the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Commander Rydek, plot an intercept course.
On it.
Yes, Captain. No problem, Captain. I will do everything. You sit in chair and don't do nothing. It's fine. I will do all work. The Klingons' heroes or menace? You think Jonah Jameson would say that? Oh, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're talking about now. Like on yeah, the on the news, his podcast. Klingons, heroes or menace? We've got Captain Kirk on the line to tell us. Alright, let's get you in, mystery guest.
We got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
Terra firma, so to speak.
That's right, it's Spock.
captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
Well, let me be the first to say, welcome to the...
Hey, it's Spock. I'm surprised he's alive still.
Carter? Carter Diaz. Sir.
I am pleased to meet you, Petty Officer Carter Diaz. It appears I have you to thank for my safe arrival. Your assistance arrived not a moment too soon.
Well, it wasn't all me. I got some help from upstairs.
A bombastic approach to clearing debris. We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari space, but it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
I'd rather investigate than speculate.
A sound principle.
Take readings, run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Quite logical, Petty Officer Diaz. Thank you.
Ambassador Spock.
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
So now, Spock is actually not voiced by Leonard Nimoy, surprisingly. A lot of people originally, when this game came out, obviously Leonard Nimoy is long dead and had been dead for quite a few years before this game's production. A lot of people thought it was an AI voice. It is not. It is a YouTuber named Piotr Michael. And you can find him on YouTube. He does tons of different impressions, and one of his best impressions is Spock.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff. It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past.
Remember that next-gen episode when Picard mind melded with Spock's dad?
Most diplomatic choice of words.
Yes. We need your experience.
Your experience comes from the past. But our present situation calls for it.
True enough.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour.
Is this that new Star Trek game?
Oh, look who it is! It's always Asleep Stu's Game Reviews. Hey, so I'm going to pause this for a sec to explain something to Stu here. So Stu has seen this game before because we streamed it on the PS4. Now, when we streamed it on the
Good impression of Leonard Nimoy.
When we streamed it on the PS4, it was a buggy mess. It felt rushed, and there was a lot of dialogue missing, some game crashes here and there, loading issues, that kind of stuff. A lot of game bugs. Now, the PS5 version of the game came out a year later, and the PS5 version of the game is fully perfect in every way. It has very fast loading screens. It has 60 frames per second. It has 4K resolution, ray tracing, and all of the dialogue still remains. None of the dialogue is cut. So I always wanted to stream the PS5 version of this game because it is, in fact, the ultimate edition of the game. Like Mary Poppins? Fair enough. I always wanted to stream this version of the game because it is the penultimate version of the game. I'm fucking... What is Mary Poppins with the mob? I'm fucking Mary Poppins? Hey, how you doing? I'm fucking Mary Poppins. You listen to me, you brat. We're gonna take you out. You're gonna meet this woman who has all these birds around her. We're gonna take you to the bank. You're gonna take that penny, you're gonna put it into an account, and in 10 fucking years, it's gonna be $5.
That's a line from Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen any of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, so that's why I didn't catch on.
The Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Illidians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain.
Hi there, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well.
This isn't perfect, but it looks better than the face.
I mean, you have to understand that this guy is really a young Stu. I mean, for an impression of Leonard Nimoy, he does a fantastic job. I mean, I think he's like in his 30s or 40s. I would say late 30s. He's a YouTuber, and if you go to his channel, he has a ton of different impressions that he does. His Patrick Stewart is spot on, just like his Leonard Nimoy, in my opinion. I think it's Leonard Nimoy.
Went out with that girl. Now it's gonna be so awkward between her and her friend.
Aye, she'll get over it. It's Starfleet. You can't be working relationships.
Star Trek.
We all do, man. So you're in a good place right here. We all love Star Trek. But yeah, no, this is definitely one of the better Star Trek games in recent years. And I'm hoping that somewhere down the line it gets a sequel. I feel like how it ends sets itself up for a sequel, so that would be really nice to see, at least at some point. Now again, because I have streamed this game before, the PS4 version of the game, tomorrow I'm probably going to do a little stream of something different, something newer. So tomorrow we'll do a proper stream of something that nobody has seen, maybe a new game of some kind.
Star Trek Starfleet Academy on my dad's SNES.
Oh, nice! The original Starfleet Academy, very cool. I remember that one actually I have that one on the SNES. And then they got a FMV version of that game quite a few years later for PC, and that one's pretty good too.
How is it the Hotari were able to turn the tables and take the mines against
I found cheats for it.
forces, especially after decades in this arrangement?
Unclear. The answer to that question may be the key to a new, lasting peace, and one that I hope we can uncover during these negotiations. But it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Illidian fleet if this escalates to open war. Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective after all.
The Hotari just won their independence. It's hard to believe they would give that up just for profit.
I agree. It would be exceedingly difficult to bring the Hotari to that position.
Neither the Illidians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them do anything.
There is an additional complicating factor I should mention. In the past, the Federation has relied on the Illidians as a source of dilithium.
That certainly changes things.
The Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
So we've already...
I am about to undergo Ponfar.
Ponfar.
We're morally obligated to make this right.
Hold on.
But yeah, no, so tomorrow I'm thinking of streaming,
Given the Federation,
I haven't really decided yet. I picked up Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, so I have that, and that's a very new game that came out earlier today. So I had pre-ordered that a while back. Ponfar is like a Vulcan. Isn't Ponfar a Vulcan ritual?
We have to assume the Elydian fleet.
That's when Spock and Kirk fought it out.
This recent surge
I think.
energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Pretty sure that's what that is.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have...
Ponfar is when they get horny.
Yeah. So that was the one episode where Kirk and Spock fought it out for to Par, to Ping, or to Pow, or whatever the hell her name was.
And when it doesn't,
all the more reason to learn as much about it as we can while we are here.
Oh yes.
And then Kirk's like Spock.
Stu should replay the Minecraft TMNT game, and Stu can get stuck driving real slow in the van again.
Why would I want to do that again? Why would I want to do that again? That seems like a terrible idea. I mean, I'm always down to stream anything with Stu, but I mean, I really don't need him driving like an old lady in a turtle van again. I already experienced that once. That was enough for me.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction.
It was funny, lol.
Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial capacity, your first officer for example, would not be bound by those restrictions. Commander Rydek could
Or the masturbation in Disney World.
Where they may be more...
Yeah, that was fantastic. Yeah, let's hope Disney doesn't see that live stream.
Goes her own way. Maybe that helps in this case.
I'd be honored.
Be unconventional.
I'm honored to be included in the negotiation process.
There we go.
You're not just included, you are instrumental.
Well, I hope Commander Rydek will have more luck finding out what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace may very well depend on it.
See, the thing is, the reason why I think his Spock is so good is because the way he pronounces the words, and the way he pauses, and the way he emphasizes certain words is how Leonard Nimoy spoke as Spock. That's why I think he does a good job as the voice of Spock. Because you see, when he said the prospect for peace, he didn't go the prospect for peace. He said the prospect for peace.
Mr. Diaz, I understand you
Is
have...
Spock alive in this timeline?
I don't think so.
It is imperative that the ambassador's shuttle be flight ready.
I think this is no, he wouldn't be, because this is after his generations. Yeah, no, he would be dead. Though,
I agree it's not
yeah, he would be
perfect,
dead.
but quite good. Like I said, I think the voice is better than the facial model.
Many accomplishments.
I miss Leonard Nimoy.
Satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow
Yeah, a lot of people do. I think nobody misses him more than Shatner. Shatner probably feels a lot of guilt for skipping out on his funeral. Because he was, from what I remember, he was invited to the funeral of Leonard Nimoy. Was this in a dream, Stu? What do you mean you met Leonard Nimoy once? Did he just show up at your house? Hello. I'm looking for directions to the nearest gas station. I need to hear the rest of the story. How did you meet him? Did you meet him at a convention?
No, he spoke in Manhattan and I went and met him afterward.
So you just hold on. So were you a part of the convention, the Manhattan meeting, or did you just show up afterwards and be like, "Hi, you don't know me"?
Actors in Transformers 1986. Leonard Nimoy played Galvatron. But his mom actually prayed in the same place as my parents at one point.
So is that how you just broke into his Is that how you broke into his
convention. He spoke at the 92nd Street Y and there was opportunity to speak with him afterward.
Okay, so you found out that he was speaking. You didn't go to his presentation. You just snuck in afterwards to be like, "Hi, Mr. Nimoy. Your parents prayed at the same place my parents did." I'm surprised you didn't call security.
No, I went to the presentation, sheesh.
Oh, okay. I just thought you were insane.
It was all about his book of naked women photographs.
Oh, okay. Not exactly something I would have thought he would have done a presentation on. I figured it would have been on like the solar system, the galaxy, something. Not porn, but fair enough. What an interesting individual. I'm surprised Shatner wasn't there. What were the aliens that he was always screwing, Shatner? The green aliens. Organians?
Crazy.
Chad is always crazy in here, my friend. That's what we're used to.
I am not the chief engineer of this shuttlecraft.
I want to do it.
Gorn?
No, he didn't. Shatter didn't screw the Gorn. What are you talking about? He fought the Gorn. He didn't have sex with them. That would have been awkward.
Make note of any abnormalities.
Orions. Yes, that's what it was. The Orion slave women.
One nice thing about Vulcans.
I just picture now Shatner showing up at this lecture and being like, "There's naked women. Are there Orion slave women that are naked here? Let's talk about the Orion slave women."
No, I am saying he fought at the Gorn.
He fought the Gorn, yes. Definitely fucked. He definitely fought the Gorn. He didn't screw them.
Pity. Doc says I should get used to it.
I don't see anything.
Doesn't mean I want to be reminded of it every minute of the day.
We know.
I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing to see here.
Good. Look, I hate saying this,
He did a book of nude photographs that was supposed to be a representation of the female aspect of God. Kirk's body is actually in Picard in storage.
I think you said that before, James.
I didn't write it. I just went to meet Nimoy.
He's lying. He was the publisher. That's why he was there. He's like, "Mr. Nimoy, remember how I acted as the publisher for your porn book?" By the way, I'm Stu's Game Reviews. Have I seen Picard? Yes, I haven't seen all of the series, but I have watched a couple of episodes. I think you asked me this before.
Spit my food.
I made you spit your food? Mission accomplished. By the way, I will be going back to my apartment this week, Stu, so if you want to do a collab at some point, you let me know. I am down to speak for one of your live streams.
I thought you'd jump at the chance to take it to the next level. Why'd you tell her you just wanted to be friends? I was surprised to hear that.
I do just want to be friends. Leave me alone. You are all getting in my way.
That far off to like her like that.
Because I do think we should just stay friends. I don't want to do anything to mess that up.
Fair enough. I get it. And a direct, honest answer is gonna make it a lot easier to stay friends. Just, when you see her, don't make a big deal of it. And I'll be there to smooth things over.
What are you expecting me to do? I already said I don't like her. I don't want to date her. What am I going to do? Go up to her and be like, "Hi there, friend."
The primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something.
I remember I have this Star Trek game on PC that was a Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Oh god, I can't remember the name of it now. It was like really stiff animation, and I remember at the beginning of the game, Odo, you're trapped in a shuttlecraft, and Odo just like liquefies in and helps you escape the shuttle. And it was just such a funny scene because he's so shocked that you know everything about that you know how to work a shuttle. It's like
a friend, but I would never ask her out cause I know she doesn't feel the same way, and besides I found out she likes another. NCC 1864 is my favorite spaceship relieved.
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still.
At James McCrossan, no guts, no glory.
There was a complete warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field.
Yeah, all the voice cast in this game are really good in my opinion. So as I said, Josh Keaton is the
Khan in this game, yes or no?
Khan is not in this game. This game is set in the Next Generation universe. So no Khan, just Spock and Commander Riker later on in the game. And yes, Commander Riker is actually voiced by Jonathan Frakes. Yeah, and that's it for the...
She would say no, and she told me she's into someone low. Madeline Kahn?
Madeline Kahn? No. I don't think so. Why? Does this look weird to you? Like, how his hand moves? Like, why... That just looks odd. In that, his hand in that position just looks like...
Someone is into her.
His hand in that position just looks like it's coming out of somewhere else. Cough, cough, cough. I don't think hands should be in that position ever. It just looks wrong. All right, let's Jesus, we're not trying to tickle it. What are we? Come on. No, are we not? Okay. Oh, we have to press this one down here. There we go.
Subspace variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
It means
I was tickling the console to make it work. That's what I was doing.
Ray going offline caused that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code.
Yes, I know the guy too, he admitted, so it's best I don't try anything.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you imagine if that's how it was in Star Trek universe? Kirk comes down and sees...
Did she lose a paintball match?
No, at the Did she lose a paintball match? Now, at the beginning of the game, she was shocked with an electrical current, and it scarred her face.
They're all the same.
One of the hardest game on SNES is Star Trek: The Next Generation's Futures Past.
I think I did play that game. I think I have that game. My favorite Star Trek: The Next Generation game was a Final Unity on the PC. That game's amazing. I still have it. It's a really good game.
I have a hard time with that one.
Not overcomplicate this. One of these systems is likely broken.
I'll do the warp coils.
I'll check the nacelles for a cracked coil.
My dad loves it.
Nice. Yeah, some of the older Star Trek games were really good. I don't want to... I feel like you should try the ones on PC from back in the 90s, because I think you'll appreciate them a little bit more. The SNES and NES ones were okay. They certainly weren't the best. They were good. They were decent. But I do feel like the best Star Trek games were Star Trek 25th Anniversary, Star Trek Judgment Rights, and Star Trek: The Next Generation of Final Unity. All three of those games you can likely find on GOG. www.gog.com.
I will have to get a PC. Is there a game where you kill everyone as Locutus? I second those picks.
Is there a game where you...
I went at the Gamer's Grotto and I agree.
For once. Yeah, we've never agreed on anything before, Stu. This is the first time. Smartass. Is there a game where you play as Locutus? No, not that I know of, but however, there was an FMV game that came out a couple of years ago, back in 1996, called Star Trek Borg, and it starred Q, and at one point you get assimilated.
My PS5 hang that I just got.
You're gonna install your PS5 game that you just got. Okay, fair enough, man. What game did you get? Anyway, going back to what I was saying. So, Star Trek Borg was an FMV game from 1996, and in that game, it starred Q, and at one point in the game, it's all first person, and it was all filmed on the sets of Star Trek Voyager, actually. And at one point, you get assimilated into a Borg, and you get to experience what it's like to be a Borg in first person. Oh, fair enough. So yeah, no, you got to experience what it was like to be a Borg in first person. So that was really cool, and yeah, no, it was just really, really, really freaking cool to experience that. And that game actually got a remake a couple of years ago, and you can play it for free on the internet. There's a specific website you go to. I think it's like, if you just search up on Google Star Trek Borg Remastered, you'll get the website, and you just go to the website and you can play the entire game in 4K on the website. You won't have to download anything, nothing. You can play it directly from the website. It's a fan-made remaster, and it's in excellent quality. I mean, the visuals are simply stunning. 4K. They used AI to remaster all of the old videos from Star Trek Borg back in 1996, and the remaster is in excellent quality, and like I said, in full 4K. So those of you who want to experience that maybe for the first time, check that out on Google.
Borg is a great game too.
Yeah, Borg was a good game. Now, they were trying to remaster Star Trek Klingon. However, they said that whatever the company did, I think it was Simon & Schuster Interactive were the original creators of these games. And I think whatever Simon & Schuster did with Star Trek Klingon, there's no way to remaster those videos, apparently. They tried, and it was just a mess. So apparently, I guess Klingon maybe was the first game and Borg was the second. I always thought it was the other way around, but I guess Klingon was the first game, and it was the quality.
I always wondered why Picard was never fired as captain for his actions as Locutus. Obviously, people hold grudges him even though he wasn't.
I think deep down people knew that he was being controlled by the Borg, so they didn't want to hold all that against him. I mean, sure, certainly some people were angry with him. It kind of reminds me of in the Orville, if you guys have ever seen the Orville series, I think it was like in season 2 where Isaac is blamed when the Kalon attack whatever their version of the Federation is.
This is like Elite Force 2.0. Flashbacks to having to sync waves.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're not doing the wave syncing right now, borderline enlightenment, but yeah, there is certain segments in this game that kind of remind me of that too. PC and PS2, and that game was fun. I actually enjoyed it. It wasn't a bad game at all. Where's our third? I guess we don't have anything in the biological scan. That makes sense. All right, there we go. Fully scanned. The leading coils show evidence of routine maintenance to repair micro abrasion.
Way before Picard ever was, and I like both.
Cisco should have been fired way before Picard ever was, and you like both. Fair enough. The one thing I didn't like about Star Trek Picard was how Picard was treated by Starfleet. They kind of like treated him like shit. They were treating him like crap. Oh, here we go. Her again.
Thousands of people, including Cisco's wife and son, during the Battle of Wolf 359, remember?
Yes, he did, but he was also a Borg at the time, so he was not in control of his faculties. He, I'm pretty sure, and he felt bad about that. You could tell. So when you watch the first episode of DS9, and Cisco is like treating him like shit, and then it kind of like is spaced out, right? At the beginning when he first meets Picard, he's kind of standoffish. He doesn't say anything. He's just standoffish towards Picard. And then later on, near the ending of the first episode, he says, Picard goes, "Well, what's your problem?"
Drinks their blood. You know what, that sort of makes sense though for what? 30 years on. How well do we treat war heroes from World War II? Can they walk in and brick?
Yeah, that's true. Now, the other thing to mention is, so going back to what I was saying about DS9, so the ending of the first episode, close to the ending where
I remember that he brings up
the battle at Wolf 3.
Doesn't answer.
No, Picard doesn't answer, but if you look at his face, he is he has a lot of guilt on his face. He doesn't answer because he doesn't know what to say. What do you say to that? Oh yeah, you were in the battle that killed my wife at Wolf 359. Like, what does he say to that? What's he supposed to say to that? How can you justify that? So he doesn't say anything, but if you look at his face, he feels bad. He definitely feels bad.
Picard isn't guilty because was Borg at the time, full stop. He can deal with the personal guilt, but he was not at fault.
Hey.
Yeah, I agree with what he just said. Yes, Picard was not at fault. Picard was basically a zombie to the Borg. I mean, like he was not able to. I think when you're from what I've seen from the game Star Trek Borg, when you're a Borg, you can see what you're doing, but you have no control over what you're doing. You're basically an automaton.
I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole steam engines were the warp drives of their day part. Catch y'all later.
Picard doesn't even apologize to Cisco. He's a jackass.
He didn't know what to say. I just went over this. Like, how do you apologize for killing for basically mass genocide? How do you apologize for that?
So I'll catch up with you.
Especially when you're not in control.
And we can just go back to what it was.
He could have said, "I am sorry."
Take care of yourself down there, okay? Stay safe.
Always.
I mean, I guess, but I mean, like...
I wasn't in control. I feel horrible.
I don't know.
I have nightmares every night.
Alright, whatever. Jesus.
It took him all the way till the end of the Picard series to fully recover and get over it. I wish I could bring your wife back.
Alright, where were we?
I don't know, man. See, I got no problems with how DS9 was written. I thought it was written really good. I mean, obviously it sounds like you have a problem with it, but I thought given what they were dealing with, I thought that the writing was really good. Now, granted, I have not seen all of DS9 yet. I have a box set of it on Blu-ray, or no, not Blu-ray, DVD. Sorry. And I still need to get through it. I barely touched it. I think I've watched up to like season 2.
Problem with the writing. I'm just saying Picard acted like a jackass. Oh, you need to finish DS9 for your own good.
For my own good? Is that a threat? No, I'm just joking. Yeah, no, I did intend to at some point. Yeah, I also need to finish. So I have 3 box sets. I've got The Next Generation on Blu-ray, and I've got Voyager and DS9 on DVD. It's like a big box set. It's they're big box sets. I got them when they were on sale at a DVD store.
Picard acted like someone who needed to maintain his authority while also acknowledging how others felt. He honestly walked the line.
The shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
But going back to what I was saying, so I never watched any of Star Trek Voyager or DS9, really. I need to, at some point, watch those box sets. I I mean, like I bought them like 4 years ago, and I haven't even touched them. Picard even has a son with Dr. Crusher and Picard, and he gets turned into a Borg. Yes, I know about that. I even though I haven't watched all of Picard, I know about what happens in it from seeing, like, you know, articles on Google and stuff.
Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
That right there. Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure returned non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
That doesn't help.
Wait, what if we use a different ship?
I always liked the sound of the warp drive in Star Trek. It's that drone has kind of a soothing sound to it. Somehow it just sounds really cool.
After the movies, he and her had a child, which is funny. Remember the whole show he didn't want to get with her.
Are you talking about Picard? Who are you talking about?
Intensity warp 1.1. 1.2. 3. Warp pressure.
So you know what I heard recently is Cyril Lofton. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right. Who played Jake Sisko in DS9, and Avery Brooks, who played Commander Sisko. They are very close in real life. They're very close in real life. Like, I remember Cyril was saying that Cyril was saying that Avery Brooks is like a father figure to him. Like they are that close. It's crazy. I guess because they worked for so long on DS9, they just became like family. It's father and son. Yeah, totally. Isn't that awesome? I love that. That's so wholesome. I really appreciate when I hear stuff like that.
Ambassador Spock, Captain Solano, welcome to Hotari. We are honored you have come. My name is Tyler Saltaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
The honor is ours. And this is Commander Jara Rydick, first officer aboard the USS Resolute.
You have so many great episodes in DS9 if you watch. Including Sirach saying the N-word, which in the 90s, is that not huge. It's not great because of that, but just wow.
He actually said that on the show? That's crazy. Huh. I remember Nog see, even though I've never seen the episodes, I know a lot about it, right? And I remember Nog just being this bratty little Ferengi who then becomes like a fully fledged Starfleet officer, and just how his story became more involved and fleshed out, and I really appreciate that because honestly,
it's an episode where the crew becomes a 1950s reality.
Oh, I've seen that episode. I know the episode you're talking about. I know that's the one where Sisko is treated like shit for writing science fiction, right? I think that's what it is. He's like the first black guy to write science fiction, and nobody wants to pick up his stuff because of his skin color or something. I'm pretty sure that's the episode you're talking about, and I have seen that one.
Yeah, he imagines being a writer.
Yeah. I've seen that one. That one was so good. I loved it. The writing on that was excellent.
I think we're about to begin.
Did you hear the arrogance from that guy?
Now, you know what's interesting is I picked up the PS5 versions of... one sec here. Let's keep an open mind.
That may be true.
Let's keep an open I picked up the PS5 remakes of the...
Then let's hope he's the outlier.
Soul Reaver games. Soul Reaver 1 and 2.
The best episode is in the pale moonlight.
And in the Soul Reaver games, they've got like all these special features, and one of them is like videos, massive amounts of videos of the voice cast doing their lines and being goofy and all that kind of stuff. And Rene Auberjonois is in it, who played Odo on DS9, because he's one of the voice actors in Soul Reaver 1 and 2. And dude, I didn't realize the range of voices he can do. Dude, that guy is an amazing voice actor. Because I always thought that it was just one voice. It was like, Odo, you know, that voice that he does. And his real life voice sounds nothing like Odo, too, which shocked me because I always thought that you know, the voice that he did as Odo was his real voice. But he's got a very soft...
Episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Ambassador Spock.
So, but yeah, so going back to what I was saying, so, yeah, no, he was, his voice in real life, Rene Auberjonois, his voice in real life is so soft-spoken. Like, he sounds nothing like Odo. And I didn't realize that all along throughout DS9 he was putting on a voice for Odo. And that voice he's used in countless games. It's always that gruff voice. It seemed to be one of his favorite voices to do in most mediums. Mr. House? Oh, yes, Renee was in when it was in New Vegas. That's right. Yeah. I remember that actually. Yeah. But it's funny because all of these because every time, like when I saw him in Uncharted and stuff like that, I always knew right away that it was Rene because of his because he would always do like the Odo voice for all of these characters, and I thought
he was great in Boston Legal with William Shatner.
That's why I thought that his actual speaking voice was the Odo voice. And then once I heard him in these behind the scenes videos in the Soul Reaver remakes, I was like, damn, he is very soft-spoken. Like he doesn't sound anything like Odo.
Welcome to Holtari.
And he does crazy voices too. He did like a whole bunch of Muppet voices and stuff.
Here and now, can Odo see from everywhere, or only from the eyes?
That is a good question. I don't even know how to answer that.
Let's get on with it, shall we?
I would say, given that he's a changeling and he doesn't have any actual form, I could say I'd say everywhere maybe, because he doesn't his form as Odo is not like a permanent form, right? It's just a
as it has been for centuries and will be for centuries more.
It's just like a human a replicated human form more than anything.
Then you invite war.
Because otherwise he'd be like what's his name from the Orville. What I can't remember the character's name. The gelatinous guy. Damn it. The name's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway.
Our only interest is the peaceful resolution of this conflict. We are here at your request, Your
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Yeah. Norm Macdonald's character.
Here, but it's not easy. I thought they wanted us here.
Not Norm Macdonald. Was it Norm Macdonald? No, Norm Macdonald is a Canadian actor. Who am I thinking of? Or was it Norm Macdonald?
Oh, that sounds like Spock in the game.
It's not. I know it sounds like him. It's not. It's a voice actor. It's a sound-alike.
Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald. Okay.
I missed what you said.
Yeah, so the voice actor for Spock in this is a YouTuber named Piotr Michael, and he does a wide range of various impersonations: Marty McFly, Patrick Stewart, Leonard Nimoy.
But yeah, that sounded like Spock.
Yeah, no, he's a voice actor. Borderline Enlightenment. That's who's voicing Spock. Piotr Michael. You can look him up on YouTube. He's got tons of celebrity impersonations that he does, and his Spock is freaking so good.
Was there something you wanted to say, Captain?
Oh, no. My apologies.
And what about the Kobliad?
She's not part
She
of...
can speak for herself, can't she? Then let her.
Were you ever a Darth Vader fan?
Me? Yes. Yes, as a kid I was obsessed with Darth Vader. To the point where I had Darth Vader on birthday cakes.
One should know their place. But you might be somewhere else.
I actually have a couple of Star Wars Vader. I have Vader Immortal on my Quest 2.
Loves Vader, come on.
That's true.
And a queen.
I still love Vader, man. Vader was a cool character.
A bow is not.
I mean, if there was a game where you could just play as Darth Vader from beginning to end. Really? You like Jar Jar? I couldn't stand Jar Jar.
Installed at 2 GB.
My name is not Kobliad, is what I should say, but I'm going to say my apologies. I'm going to be nice.
My apologies, Your Majesty. I meant no disrespect.
I love Darth Vader. To this day I can't believe Luke forgave him so quickly.
They need to make a Star Wars game, not a VR game, but a Star Wars game where you play as Darth Vader from beginning to end. Now, I know that they had a little segment in Star Wars The Force Unleashed where you played as Vader, but it'd be really cool to be able to play as Vader from beginning to end in a game. I think that would be a lot of fun.
As your father might melt your heart pretty quickly. I always play as Vader in LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga.
Nice. Yeah, no, the Skywalker Saga games were amazing. Oh my god, that collection of LEGO Star Wars games, freaking incredible. And I was shocked that I'm trying to remember the voice actor who played Vader in that. It was I would seek peace. It was
for what the Kobliad suffered. And I fear who we might have become.
God, I can't remember right now. It's on the tip of my tongue, but it's the first time I've ever seen him voice Vader in anything, and he did such a good job. Because 90% of the time it was always Scott Lawrence. So Scott Lawrence was always the voice of Vader in most of the games that were made by LucasArts way back in the day, and that was because James Earl Jones had personally hired.
Between 3 and 4. I wanted Riker to find out Picard was his father. In all seriousness though, Riker spent 10 years too long on the Enterprise. The fact he went.
Riker is actually in this game, man. Riker actually makes cameos in this game, and he's actually voiced by Jonathan Frakes.
I miss Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones, yeah, he was an amazing personality. So going back to what I was saying, so Scott Lawrence was always the voice of Darth Vader in the video games from the 90s all the way up to Star Wars Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order. And in those, I love how this pauses here so I can talk and still be able to make choices. Okay, so so Scott Lawrence has been in a lot of Vader stuff, a lot of Star Wars game stuff as the voice of Vader. So I was surprised that he wasn't used for LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. I'm assuming it was he was busy with something else at the time. But a lot of people don't know this, but James Earl Jones actually hired Scott Lawrence to voice Vader in all the other mediums. So James Earl Jones was never really interested in playing Vader in video games, which is ironic considering that he did video games himself, because James Earl Jones was in the Command & Conquer games. So it's really weird that he didn't want to do any of the Star Wars games, so he ended up personally hiring Scott Lawrence, and Scott Lawrence was the voice of Darth Vader in all of the LucasArts games, and all the way up to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. And also the Star Wars Vader game on VR. Yes, James Earl Jones is in Command & Conquer, Tiberian Sun. Yes. He was in Tiberian Sun, as I recall.
Janeway was an admiral before Picard is insane. Sorry to make a random point. I love both, just to have neutrality.
You don't need to ever apologize. You are welcome to say whatever you want on here, man. We appreciate you being here. Don't be silly. I don't even know what she last said. Dilithium is not dilithium is a factor.
Darth Vader for 23 years. I can't imagine being in the suit that many years. I have one Command and Conquer for PS1.
Well, technically, isn't Anakin dead? I mean, he's a corpse, isn't he? He fell into lava. The only thing that kept him alive was that suit. I don't even think he's technically alive. I think the suit is what he's wired into that suit, right? It's not like he can take it off at night. He's wired. He's like RoboCop. That's what it reminded me of. He's basically Alex Murphy.
Vader was drinking his own pee in that suit.
I did not need to filter it, of course. You just reminded me of a skit from College Humor. They made this like Stormtrooper series, and it was so stupid. These Stormtroopers are like guarding this Imperial base or whatever, and the one Stormtrooper is
He just was a burn victim.
The one Stormtrooper is new, and he's like, "Yo, did you know that you like can? They have dispensers in here. You can like drink your own. You can drink juice." He's like,
Red alert, and red alert.
so the Stormtrooper is going like, "Oh, you can drink juice in the Stormtrooper armor," and the other guy's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, man, you can drink juice in the Stormtrooper armor. It's very cool." And the other Stormtrooper is like, "I don't know anything about that. I know that they have the ability for us to piss in the suits, and it recycles it, kind of." And then the other Stormtrooper realizes he's drinking his own piss, and that it wasn't actually juice. He's like, "Wait a minute, I'm drinking my own piss." It was such a stupid skit. It was done by College Humor, and it used Unreal Engine 5. So all they did was they had voice actors come in and voice the characters, and it looks photorealistic. It looks beautiful. Like, it looks like it's an actual set and everything. No, it's all Unreal Engine 5. It's all rendered. It was really cool skit. You should try and find it if you guys haven't seen it.
It's possible the Federation has an interest in both peace and securing a steady source of dilithium. One does not preclude or prevent the other.
That's like watching Jackass with Stormtroopers.
Oh, it's not as bad as Jackass. Come on. I can't stand Jackass. They're like shoving firecrackers up their ass and stuff. No.
Never made sense to me, the whole Kylo Ren thing.
Kylo Ren was just a moody child to me. That guy, I could not stand Kylo Ren in the movies. To me, he was just a moody kid who killed his father.
We've given them warp technology.
He killed Indiana Jones, damn it. No, I'm just...
We've made their lives infinitely better than before dilithium was discovered. All of that goes away if the Federation turns a blind
Oh, speaking of which, when the Indiana Jones game comes out for PS5, I will be streaming it on here as well. I already have it for the Xbox Series X, but I will be streaming it for PS5 when it comes out in April. Because that game's amazing. If none of you have played it yet, oh my god, that Indiana Jones game is stunning.
Who should the Federation recognize? The Hotari.
Did you know 007 is in Force Awakens?
Yes, he played one of the... Yes. Well, not...
But would Leia and Han have told him about his grandfather's redemption in the end?
Not 007.
This scene feels very Mass Effect.
I love the Mass Effect games, bro. I'm glad you brought those up. Those games were amazing. Well, at least Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. I'm not a big fan of Andromeda. Mass Effect 4, I just found out, got cancelled, which I'm not too happy about. Apparently, Dragon Age, the latest Dragon Age game didn't sell very well, and EA, who was the publisher, decided, well, we're going to yank a lot of the employees from BioWare. So all future games are now put on hold indefinitely at BioWare. That includes the upcoming Knights of the Old Republic remake, and of course Mass Effect 4 are now on hold. And that really sucks, because like I was really looking forward to Mass Effect 4, and now finding out that it's been put on hold indefinitely because of EA kind of pisses me off. Alright, so the Elydians should be getting the dilithium, not the Hotari, because the Hotari are assholes.
If there can only be one, Then it would be in the best...
I was going to play Mass Effect, but my PS3 disk drive went for a crap.
She speaks sense.
There is a pinhole on your PS3 to eject discs. Simply look for the pinhole on your console and you'll be able to eject the disc, no problems. But yes, there is a way to get out your disc. There should be a pinhole on the front of the console, just directly underneath the CD tray. Now, if your PS5 or if your PS3 is the one that I think it is, where it's like a slot tray, yeah, there's always a pinhole to eject discs that are stuck in a console. It's been that way since the PS2.
I would agree, Ambassador Spock.
It's a PS3 Fed I have.
This is best left to those of us with more experience in diplomacy.
It shouldn't matter. All consoles have an emergency eject pinhole to eject your discs. Even the PS5, all of them have one, and that's been the way. That's been the way since the very first PlayStation consoles.
Please don't body shame the PS3.
Don't body shame the PS3. One sec.
Nice with the locals and see if you can get some answers. We need to find out why the Hotari are so willing to risk war. What happened to them?
Sorry, my husky is being vocal.
The voice actor for Alexander Monroe in Elite Force is the voice of the Spanish guy in Ray 4 original.
Oh yeah, no, I know. You're thinking of Reno Romano. Reno Romano, who is the voice of Alexander Monroe, has been in a lot of things. He's also voiced in Spider-Man cartoons. He's been in a lot of stuff, man. Reno Romano is just he's in everything. He was a big name back when Star Trek Elite Force came out. And so it was no surprise to see him in Elite Force as one of the lead voice actors. Yeah. I guess we'll talk to you first, get you out of the way, because you're an ass. Can't stand this guy.
After hearing so much about the Federation's sense of fairness and justice, I was surprised that you sided with the Illidians. In all honesty, I expected more. Especially from someone like you.
To be clear, I'm not on either side of this conflict. Our only interest is peace.
On the Illidians' terms, apparently.
I will wait until I get down to Power Up Gaming in Barrie, Ontario. Last time we took a PS3 apart was the backwards compatible when it went Y.
Not seized.
No, you don't need to take your PS3 apart. It's a pinhole. I don't think you're understanding. You don't need to rip apart your PS3 for this. It's just a little pinhole. You stick a pin in it, it'll eject your disc. There's no reason to rip it apart. Yeah, and I'm from I'm originally from Huntsville, Ontario, and I live technically Emsdale, Ontario, and then I live in London, Ontario right now, and I will be moving back to Huntsville, Ontario shortly. Did you have help? You were armed. Don't you fear retaliation? That you were armed.
Were the Hotari miners armed during the revolt? I'm just trying to understand how it happened.
Is it true that sales of U.S. flags in Ontario are at a record high? You should watch DS9 because they directly mention the limit.
Is it true that sales of U.S. flags are at an all-time high? I don't know. I don't think so. I think a lot of Canadians are a bit upset with Americans, more specifically with Donald Trump. I mean, that guy's an idiot.
That might be true, but that would still require a small number to be a record high.
People are just fed up with Donald Trump right now. I don't think. I don't think.
The Federation's finest warship.
Wait, you coming back to Huntsville? I remember when you brought the GameCube over to my house when I was little.
Yeah, I remember that, man. Yeah, I remember. I haven't had a GameCube in forever. I'm not a big Nintendo guy anymore. Resolute can hold its own. It's a science fiction vessel. The fleet is, the Resolute can handle its own. Let's look
I
tough.
wouldn't say state of the art, but the Resolute is plenty capable and can hold its own against just about anything.
We are a warship.
Because at the moment, it's the only thing preventing...
What does worry me is the hatred we are experiencing. I truly believe Trump wants to isolate America and make them feel there are no allies. I can't remember what game we played, TBH.
I don't know what his plan is. I think, well, he keeps on saying, he has this stupid thing he keeps on saying on Twitter where he says that, so he's freezed the tariffs in Canada, but he has also said that he's frozen them for 30 days. And he said, well, it's just, we want to fix the border, okay, between...
For 3 years and I fully support loonies and Tim Hortons.
There you go. You support loonies? Well, of course you support loonies. Half of them are on your channel. Including you! No, I'm just joking. But yeah, no, originally this whole tariff thing was because of border security.
Falls, Ontario. I think he wants to make people feel isolated. Even if he freezes tariffs with Canada, so what? We have no solid leader right now. So it do. Loonies and 20s.
Loonies and 20s. I love my bot sometimes. Anyway, so going back to what I was saying. So originally the plan was he wanted to freeze... He wanted to have Canada strengthen their border security so that we could get rid of any drugs going into the U.S. That was the original plan, and once we did all of that, he wasn't satisfied enough. And then he said on his Twitter a couple of days ago that the only way he would get rid of tariffs is if Canada became the 51st state. So I don't know what he is doing.
He can do whatever he wants. That's basically it from what I can tell.
I don't know what he's doing. He doesn't make any sense. He's like, so a lot of people say that, oh, thank God Trump's in power because Biden was just had no brains. Really? Because
you have to remember he is doing this to every country, so it's not as if it is just Canada. So we can't take it as a personal target.
He's not doing it to... No. He's not doing it to every country. He's only done it to Mexico and China and Canada so far. He has, however, stated in a tweet that he intends to go after Europe next. So I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. I just know that he's not making any sense. He's not, because it keeps changing. Trump is all over the place, because one moment it's like, okay, to get rid of the tariffs, okay, this is what I want you to do. We're going to strengthen security between Canada and the United States, okay? And then after he said all that, then he said, oh, well, to get rid of the tariffs now, I need Canada to be the 51st state of the United States, okay? That's what's going to happen. Unless you do that, I'm gonna keep the tariffs going, okay? So he's an idiot. He's an idiot, is what it boils down to. He's a bully and an idiot.
Made any progress in the game cause we're all talking so much lol.
It happens.
Well, his trading partner.
I should make a talk show.
Breaking trade partnership. It makes sense if you want to create a country that worships your leadership. I honestly think he's just trying to embarrass Trudeau.
I don't think so, because Trudeau is no longer our prime minister. If you pay attention to the news, you'd realize that Trudeau stepped down. The only reason...
Changer, you sound like Trump, no offense.
I do voices, Twilight. I do a lot of celebrity voices. I don't use voice changers. I do voices. I've been voice acting for quite a long time. I was actually a voice actor for Grand Theft Auto 4. I've done a lot of voice acting. So yeah, no, I've been into quite a few games and stuff. And I've also helped Stu with voice acting on his channel.
He stepped down as the head of the party, but he's still the PM. He does a good goofy too.
I do a good goofy sometimes. My goofy is...
Without Lydian involvement, there is no...
It works sometimes, sometimes it doesn't.
It would be nothing short of a disaster.
Mutually beneficial.
Restoring the status quo and returning the mines to Elydian control offers a stability.
What games do you voice?
So mostly indie games, nothing really big. The only big one I did was Grand Theft Auto 4, and I was not a main character. I was just a celebrity on the street. Or not a celebrity, a civilian on the street.
Same as when Biden stepped down but was still president. Something see.
No. Well, kind of. You're kind of right. So he's still in power right now. As soon as they find somebody to replace him, he's no longer in power.
I have my issues with the Hotari, but
he technically, because he stepped down, we're just waiting for somebody to fill his shoes. And once that happens, bye-bye Trudeau. He's not going to be in power. He can say everything he wants. He can be like...
Can you do Geralt's voice from Witcher 3?
Geralt's? No, absolutely not.
What sucks about Canada is we hitch our carts to lame horses. If you lose the election, why not lead the party for the next decade?
I can do Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. I can do Arthur from Red Dead Redemption 2. What really happened?
Something tells me there's more.
It's funny how we're not even paying attention to the story right now. See, Stu, this is why I want us to make a podcast, because, dude, we would have an amazing podcast.
Definitely needs to be able to wear blackface and must love Taylor Swift.
We need to have a podcast, bro, and I want to do it on your channel, and we'll make it like a Stu podcast. Or maybe we'll do it on my channel. I don't know, whatever we decide. But I think it would be a lot of fun to just Spotify? To just like have like a talk show.
This is the one who wants a podcast, and I told you I'd be happy to do it.
Yeah.
What also sucks is I lived in Halton for a while. That's Michael Chong. That's conservative. I would still vote conservative if I lived there. Region, but that doesn't mean conservatives should run the country.
You just answered your own question. How do a group of miners do something that in theory...
I don't know. I think all of politics right now is just a mess. Let's be fair. It's just a mess right now.
How does that even happen?
Bring back Jean Chrétien.
Jean Chrétien? He was always interesting. They actually talked to him. Why did you bring that up, Stu? Did you actually watch the recent interview with him?
Separately for federal election.
They interviewed him recently on the tariff issue. That's why I was wondering if that's why you brought him up.
PS5 gave me a scare tonight.
But Jean Chrétien, they interviewed him on the recent tariffs, and he's like, well, you know that President Trump is making stuff up to. I always found that Chrétien, it takes him like 3 hours to just form a sentence.
I mentioned him because he was the PM when I lived there.
Oh, okay. Well, he's still very much around. He's very old, but he still is the same. He still
a pretty good impression, LOL.
He still takes 3 years to form a sentence. It's pretty sad when William Shatner can form a sentence quicker than Jean Chrétien can.
The man for the 90s.
He did a lot of good for Canada. I'm not gonna lie. He wasn't a bad prime minister at all. But no, it was just funny just watching this interview with him, and they're like asking him what do you think about Trump's tariffs, and he's like, well, you know, Trump is trying to bully Canada.
PPL booed at hockey and basketball. I honestly forgot about Paul Martin after him. I think most Canadians do.
We are completely neutral.
I can assure you, we aren't on anyone's side. We are and will remain completely neutral. You have my word.
I hope that's true.
we need Tony Soprano as our prime minister. Just get the mob involved. We need somebody who can bully Trump back.
I'm sure
I thought you were gonna say JFK. I thought you were gonna say, I don't know. I thought Obama was pretty good.
Your word is worth as much as Trump's. Are these the aliens that's Archer's dog peed on their tree?
We see ourselves as strong.
What? Are these the aliens that Archer's dog peed on their... What are you talking about? The Illydians, I think, are made up for the game. I don't remember ever seeing them in any of the Star Trek shows.
Depending on your perspective.
The Illidians and the Otari. I think they're made up for the game. They took your place.
Talking about Enterprise.
Oh, I've never watched Enterprise. I love Scott Bakula as I love Scott Bakula, just not in Star Trek. I liked him in
the Enterprise episode here. His dog peed on a tree and got sick, and then he had a chainsaw massacre. It's been a long road getting from there to here.
It's been a long road getting from there to here. Yeah, no, I remember that song. That song was originally sung by Rod Stewart, and then they got I can't remember who sang that song for Enterprise, but it wasn't Rod Stewart. The song is a Rod Stewart song, but they got some.
Makes sense if you saw the episode.
Yeah, probably, because what you just said just baffles me. I was like, what? What's going on? They chainsawed the dog? I'm confused.
It's called Faith from the Heart, I think.
Faith of the Heart. Of, not from. Yes, that is correct.
I get the sense you don't exactly...
Right, you're right.
I know. My mom was a big fan of Rod Stewart back in the day, so I listened to a lot of his music. A lot of it not by choice, but...
Did you Q who played in Star Trek is Discord from MLP?
Yeah, I know. Everybody knows that, man. John Delancey is who you're thinking of. Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff. John Delancey has been voicing in video games since the 90s. So, I mean, like, he's done a lot of stuff, bro. I mean, he was in Gabriel Knight 3.
I thought Cher was a man.
John Delancey was in Gabriel Knight 3, Blood of the Sacred, Blood of the Damned, the Sierra game. He played Montreux. The Federation Galvin. Yeah, no, John Delancey's done a lot of stuff. As a matter of fact, he was in Get Smart. Did you know that? The classic Get Smart, not the stupid movies. The classic Get Smart with Don Adams. I always loved Don Adams. Oh my god, he was so freaking good. Would you believe?
No one's allowed without his personal authorization.
It was always funny when he would repeat what people... Yeah, Get Smart. The Mel Brooks Get Smart, yes.
Frankenstein adventure with Tim Curry from the 90s.
I have it.
Why that came to mind.
I have it, man. I have it. The Tim Curry Frankenstein FMV game. I have it. It's really good.
What do you think it is?
It was really good. It was like a good puzzle game. Everybody's a Mel Brooks fan, man. That guy's a genius. Comedic genius. He's Jewish as well.
I'd better see what's happening.
I think. Mel Brooks, yeah, Mel Brooks is Jewish.
Do you think you can find out what they're hiding?
He's such a good, such an amazing writer, right? Like, I mean, Spaceballs, yeah. He was, oh my god, I don't know why I keep on saying was. He's not dead. He is an amazing writer.
You can use it to capture
like,
you find.
Everything he wrote was just gold. Like, just gold. Just amazing. Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Let you know what I find.
Henceforth, we will call all toilets John's.
They should make a Spaceballs game.
No.
Love that Tuvok is in Spaceballs. We ain't found shit.
Yes. Yes, he was, yes, he was that character in Spaceballs. And then, what's his name from the Police Academy movies was also in Spaceballs as well. Michael, what's his name, Michael? I can't remember his name now, but in space, yeah. There's a lot of cameos in Spaceballs of different people.
Yes. Michael something.
Michael something. Yeah.
Soothing.
Yeah, that's the only thing soothing on this planet. This planet is run by a bunch of psychos. Michael Winslow. There we go. You got it. Yeah, oh my god, have you seen his stand-up? That guy is a genius. Michael Winslow is a genius. Such a good comedian. Such a good comedian and so talented with his sounds that he can do, but also his impersonations. He does a spot on Aretha Franklin. Like he did. I saw this stand up that he did. It was like you can get it on DVD, and he does like Aretha Franklin.
Was also on Voyager as Amelia Airhead's navigator. I leave the spelling mistake.
Tackleberry?
Well, that was a disaster.
What happened?
The Hotari refused to concede anything, so the Elydians stormed out.
The Hotari did not invite us here as peacekeepers. I hope your efforts were more fruitful than ours.
Tackleberry from Police Academy.
Oh, yeah. Michael Winslow's character.
Tackleberry was the crazy guy who loved guns.
Oh, wait, no, okay, alright.
Gravitational harmonics failing to resolve. Warp bubble stability degrading.
Listen to that engine, man. So soothing. I've always loved the sounds of the warp drives and
Increasing warp output to maximum.
It's happening again.
or not the warp drives, the
It is evident that presently the Resolute cannot achieve warp propulsion.
Since our diagnostics rule out
Same.
problems with our warp systems or anything about the ship, the problem appears to be the fabric of...
So fun fact, do you guys know how the transporter special effects were done? Because I can tell you.
As a Voyager fan, how come none of the blue-collar crew knew shit about medical?
We need to know more.
Otherwise, it'll be an extended stay in the Hotari system.
The storm, of course it's the storm.
It was shaken faith.
But could it still be causing this interference?
I love how they're like, what's causing the interference? Why can't our warp drives work? Well, we're in an ion storm. Could that be it? Maybe? Distinct possibility?
Mr. Chovak. Captain Solano is on his way back from the negotiations, and I want to have some answers for him when he gets here.
Indeed. Given the facts at hand, we may be able to deploy subspace probes around the ship to construct a clear picture of the phenomenon.
Around the ship. I'll prep a shuttle.
Here we go. Into space in our shuttle.
Did you know the Borg Queen is in the Silent Hill 2006 film?
Oh yeah, no, I know. She played the villain.
When we get there, I'll deploy the...
You wonder if farts linger on a ship? That's a weird thing to ask. Maybe if it was like commanded by Beavis and Butthead. Hey, Bud! I just farted. Like, okay.
Commander Westbrook, the Resolute systems are calibrated to receive the probe's reading.
We're about to crash into that asteroid, but that's fine.
All those people, you telling me there aren't farts?
Thank you, Mr. Chovak. We'll be in position shortly.
Oh, guaranteed there are.
And Mr. Diaz, do take care in piloting the
And also, I have not seen in a single Star Trek washrooms.
Beavis and Butthead is funny.
Probably isn't such a fun guy to work for, huh?
Chovak's not so bad.
Nah, Lieutenant
He's
Commander
Vulcan.
Chovak's not so bad.
Vulcans are moody.
Once you get used to him. And, I've learned a lot working under him.
Vulcans have permanent BMS.
Apparently on shuttles they have an area to sit and have the poo-poos beamed out of you.
That's weird. We're slowly arriving at our destination. We should be here within a couple of years.
This is far enough.
Well, tell me where the toilets are on shuttles.
I don't know. Shittles. There we go. First probe deployed.
Westbrook here. The first probe is
Let's hope there's no Klingon bastards.
We are about to replay the simulation.
Just can't get a handle on her. Commander Rydek. She rejected my plan to use a deflector pulse against the storm surge.
Who cares?
But on the other, she did listen to my advice and use the whole polarity trick to get you through that excursion alive. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the new
I can't stand the science officer in this game.
even if we don't see eye to eye.
He's so moody, like all through. Even when you take his side and
It's hard to figure out why
give her a chance, you grumpy old man.
This should be a Type 2 minimum.
I don't like the first officer.
Test is running. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1.
So miserable. Even when you're nice to the science officer, he treats you like shit.
All right, that is definitely a problem with the fabric of space. We need to get another probe out there.
Let's do it. Let's take another probe.
2 points of data, the Resolute and the probe. We've managed to get an interference pattern. I'm setting a waypoint to a particularly strong area of interference. We'll deploy the second probe there. Listen, I'm gonna give you a piece of advice.
Probe, I read that book.
Make sure you're never just one thing. Don't get so
Can you maybe not give me a piece of advice right now as I'm trying to fly through an asteroid field, sir?
Please give us some lines.
Captain pulled me into his ready room and told me he didn't think I had.
Oh no, the lines were stupid, dude. The lines were just like, they were like dumb lines. Like if the main character bumps into you, you're like, "Wow, what are you doing? Get out of my way." It was just stupid shit. Or fuck off. Why you bumping into me? It's just dumb shit. But you're a people person. Sounds like politics. Thanks for the advice. But you're a people person. Even though you're not. I'm just going to be nice to you.
I think you're a people person. After all, here we are. Me, an enlisted officer. You, one of the senior staff.
I'm only being kiss-ass to him because he's higher rank than me. To be honest, I don't like him.
Bring him on.
I'm sure you can handle
His attitude is disgusting.
You're a capable engineer.
But I'm not going to say that to him. I'm not going to be like, hey, as we're flying around in a shuttle together, I'm not going to be like, oh, by the way, you're an asshole. You should eject yourself into space.
Admiral Jellicoe started as a shuttle pilot.
Funny, I still remember GTA 3 pedestrian lines. Well, I'm drinking again. Go to Aruba.
Oh, GTA 3, yeah. Yeah, I didn't do GTA 3. I was GTA 4. But, yeah, no, all of the lines were silly. They're always silly. I'm happy where I am. Can you give me a promotion? Not a bad idea.
Just mentioned Jellicoe from TNG.
I'm happy where I am.
I don't know. I'm pretty happy.
I'm fine. Maybe I should steer the shuttle, though, instead of listening to your dumbass.
Known to take decades to warm up to people.
We will be getting there soon. Hopefully. Here we go.
I just got the Witcher books.
Oh, nice. Well, not... There's thousands of Witcher books, man. You got some of the Witcher books. I doubt you got all of them.
Westbrook to Commander Chovak. We're ready for another sampling of data.
Very good. Running the simulation again. Warp field collapse in 3.
Here we go.
1.
There it is again.
I saw it. It seems to be.
What is your favorite uniform? TNG, Voyager, or the later DS9/TNG movies? Which would you look best in?
I actually have a TNG uniform, so I'm going to say TNG.
All this interference is overloading the
I
sensor
actually
buffers.
have command uniform TNG. I never wear it, but I mean I have one. Okay, let's figure this out. So all we got to do is highlight this until we find the trail.
These markers indicate peaks in the gravimetric interference patterns.
Let's see if I can find some more.
Ironically, coming from the planet Tau.
This is coming from the moon.
Yep.
That blocks warp travel.
Aimed right at us.
Someone is doing this intentionally. I don't know how they're doing it. This is like nothing I've ever seen.
We're under attack and we didn't even know it. We need to stop them. Unplug whatever it is they're hitting us with.
Now, look here. Current readings of the ion storm.
These concentrations, they line up with the interference pattern. The storm and this beam, they're coming from the same place.
Carter, whatever petty local conflict brought us here.
Have you played Baldi's Basics?
I don't even know what that is, so no.
Presently, we don't have an explanation for how they're doing this. One thing is clear. This is no fluke.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. I want a full briefing when I'm back on board. Solano out. A targeted weapon that inhibits warp travel. Coming from the moon Tau.
That would explain the difficulties my shuttle encountered. More importantly, the tenor of the Hotari during...
What if one of those people has to poop?
I thought the Illydians would be the problem.
I don't know. I don't even know where we're discussing that. That's just weird.
It wasn't supposed to be so complicated.
The Illydians knew something was off.
For all their posturing, every indication is that the Illydians are afraid of the Hotari. They didn't bring their warship as a threat. They brought it because they're scared.
From everything we witnessed, I would say that is highly likely.
But what are they afraid of?
That's disgusting.
Said she thought they found something in the mines. Galvin and Sidron brought it back to the palace, but they're keeping it under tight security. She's going to investigate it. I gave her my tricorder. I expect she'll contact us soon.
You found an ally.
Why would Tylus help us? Go behind her people's back?
That is a nice exterior shot. I like that. It's a beautiful shot. I wish there was a photo mode in this game, because that would be an excellent photo. Just get away, just clear away all the text. That would be a beautiful background for like your computer or something.
Well, you're telling me no one on a away mission has to drop a deuce.
I never thought about it. I just watched Star Trek to watch Star Trek. I never stopped to think when they went to use the bathroom. It's just not important.
May be true.
Because you could say the same thing about any other show too, right? You could say the same thing about the Avengers movies. You could say this. I mean, it's just so not important. It's like yeah, no.
There must be some motivation.
Unless they changed their minds between when they asked and when we got here.
They want war.
Given their indifference to the negotiations, and what we now know about this warp-disrupting weapon, it's almost...
Deadpool.
And Sidron was convinced...
What? What about Deadpool? Oh, Deadpool using the bathroom?
Right about that.
I'm sure he... If anyone would use the bathroom, it would be him. I mean, do you remember the Deadpool video game? Where he goes and takes a piss, and then he has a penis measuring contest with the enemies? Such a stupid scene.
Somehow harness the energy of the storm.
Harness the energy of the storm?
Doing that is beyond even our capabilities.
So is a weapon that disrupts warp travel.
There have been civilizations and entities, both past and present, far more technologically advanced than the Federation.
I haven't played that game.
Well, it doesn't exist anymore. I have it on disc. Disney had it pulled off of all the shelves digitally and physically, so the only way you can get a copy of that game now is if you go on Amazon.
And Wesley are spending days together on a shuttle. I'm gonna ask, where do you drop a deuce? I'm sorry.
Galvin and Sidron are still with the Queen. I've enlisted help to gain access to...
But yeah, no, the Deadpool game, it's really hard to get a copy of it. It's Disney had it yanked because there was a lot of questionable stuff that was said in that game. Like there's implied bestiality in the Deadpool game. There's it was weird. It was a good game. Don't get me wrong. It was an amazing game.
287 new.
Is that something you could help us
What? $287 to buy? On what are you talking about? Where? That doesn't. That's a ripoff. That's not. That's stupid.
Can we reconnect?
I got my copy for like $10.
Sorry, Captain.
And it wasn't even that long ago. I bought it like 4 years ago.
What race is she supposed to be?
It's hard to tell.
On Amazon.
That's crazy. That's where I got my copy, on Amazon. That's crazy that it's gone up that much in such a short length of time. Wow, it must really be a collector's item now then. I know that I have Africa for PS3, and they only made 10 copies of that game in English, and I have one of the English copies. And that game goes for like $5K on Amazon. I'm like, what? Why? It's a single game. That's crazy. We have to help her. We have to help her. I got her into this mess. Why can't I say both? I got her into the mess. We have to help her. I'll say the first one.
I'm the one who got her into this. If something happens to her, it's my fault.
She's one of the Queen's closest advisors. I'm sure she'll be fine.
I found it funny when Shatner went into space with Bezos and for his birthday the one year, and he came back, and everybody was asking him, "Well, what's it like in space?" And Shatner just says, "People are destroying the planet. It's terrible, but I go into space and there's barely any ozone layer left." And I'm like, thinking to myself, dude, people aren't asking about that. They're asking, like, how'd you like it in space? We didn't want you to come back and guilt trip us. And that's what he did. He came back, and I saw all the interviews with him when he came back from space. And all he says is that the Earth is almost destroyed. And I'm just like, wow, that's a letdown. Happy birthday, asshole.
But of course, we would need
like what?
Proof before taking action. Otherwise, it could put us in a difficult position.
This artifact is proof.
Whatever this artifact is may be proof enough. At least to satisfy the Federation.
Yeah.
Shatner had like 2 wives that drowned, as if he should guilt trip any of us. One of those wasn't an accident.
Well, I knew about... Okay, hold on. I didn't hear about 2 wives that drowned. That's news to me. I know that one of his wives drowned in a pool. And I remember that because Shatner came on the news about it, and he's like, I don't understand what happened. I was gone. I was not at home. And then I come home, and she's laying dead in the pool.
As I was telling Carter,
I do remember that, but I mean... second wife?
Maybe it was just one, but even one is suspicious.
It was one, yeah. No, it was only one wife. He didn't. That would have been weird if it was 2. That would have been more weird.
PS1 is 1,599.99.
It sounds like a lot of these people on Amazon are trying to scam people for their money.
I didn't like
That's what it sounds like to me.
We thought it was some astronomical anomaly, and I like it a hell.
I don't know, man. I don't like those figures. Yeah, I heard what you said on Amazon.
How does it work? What do we even do about it?
I don't like those figures. Those figures are off. No game should be selling for $2,000 on Amazon. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I know that it happens.
Interference scored the hull plating.
It depends on the rarity, but I mean, Silent Hill 1 is not a rarity.
49% of the atmosphere is fart.
Why are you still carrying on about that, bro?
It won't budge. Gotta be the storm.
Renewed is 462 new.
Welcome back. Any excitement down on the surface?
Excitement.
That's stupid. Those costs are dumb. I do know that I have The Simpsons Hit and Run on PS2, and it goes for a ridiculous amount of money, and
Don't know what that is.
Not much.
I had to weed through a lot of Amazon to find a copy for $20. I had to like go, because everybody wanted to sell it to me for like $500, and I'm like, I'm not paying $500 for one fucking game. Come on. Stupid. And so I finally found somebody, I think it was like a mother, who didn't understand how much it was worth, and they sold it to me for 20.
That is 30 years old. I am borrowing Silent Hill 1.
It's Spock shuttlecraft that he came in, Borderline. I'm guessing you never saw that part of the game. He came in a shuttlecraft, and it was that one. So they are searching it to see why its warp drives failed, and they had to tractor beam in the shuttle. Because the ship couldn't even go. The shuttlecraft couldn't even go to impulse, so they had to tractor beam it in. Otherwise, he would have died. Spock would have died.
Here, I'll help.
Oh, thanks. Big help. I could have done that myself, but, you know.
We've got this.
We've got this. We were just standing there waiting patiently.
It's expensive. It costed me $60. Now it's $159.
Yeah. Inflation. That's all I can think of. It's either inflation or it's people just trying to use people for their money.
This is as deep as a Walking Dead game.
Well, it's made by the same people, Borderline. I don't know everything.
Well, I wouldn't say
so this is Telltale Games' latest game under their new name, Dramatic Labs. So this is one of their games made by some of their staff from Telltale. Yeah. Yeah, it's a Telltale game, yeah. So Telltale Games as a company no longer exists. However, they are back under a new name, Dramatic Labs, and this was their very first game. They haven't done the second one yet. But I'm assuming that their second game is probably going to be a sequel to this one, given how it ends. I'm not saying it ends on a to be continued, because it doesn't, but it ends on like a
What story mode is Telltale?
The story mode feels like Telltale. Yeah, no, it totally is. I love Telltale games. They have some of the best story-driven games.
Some kind of crystal formation?
Alrighty, I love this too. Like when it goes into first person when you use the tricorder, that's so freaking cool. Where are we? There we go.
Whoa. This substance is a quantized spin crystallization of hydrogen, carbon, and...
I think that Hinterland with Long Dark is a strong competitor.
0.8422 seconds.
Quantized crystallization isn't natural. I mean,
the writing in this is so goddamn good. That's what I love about this game. The writing in this game is so Star Trek. They did such a good job with this game, man. Like, the writing is just... It feels like an episode of Star Trek. A really long one.
Wait. Regulation 360...
How do you parry in Witcher 3? I am trying to get a trophy.
I don't remember, man. Don't ask me that right now.
Foreign substance infiltrating a sealed system, it will be placed in secure confinement before further...
Go to your controls, go to your settings and controls, and look up the controls.
Don't you think we're more equipped to deal
That's what I always do when I can't figure out how to do something in a game. Just look up the control layout. No, you're good. It's just I'm trying to live stream a game. I don't know that off the top of my head right now. Leaves the crystal there. Does pose a threat. This is our department. Stop trying to...
piece of the puzzle we're trying to put together. We should be investigating it.
And you can. In the containment lab.
I'm telling you, stop trying to command us.
I can't make an exception. Not even...
Gonna run over you with my horse.
I'm still going to report these crystals to Commander Westbrook when we send the shuttle data.
And I will inform my superiors. I'm taking this just as seriously as you are. But I overheard talk about the warp disruption on the shuttle.
What else games do you stream?
Everything except sports games. I don't like sports games. I find them boring as hell. If I want to play hockey, I'll do it in real life. Not with a controller.
Or I could send a message to my old...
I got no problems with people who play hockey games. It's just not for me. I find them boring. That sounds like mutiny. Yeah, psycho.
You gotta be more careful. Someone hears that, they could think you're talking mutiny.
I'm just trying to figure out how we can help. Okay, stand back.
Time to beam the crystal aboard. They can't touch it because they think it's volatile.
Get this to the containment lab. We'll get it set up for you. I'll let you know when it's safely confined.
Oh, we'll be there.
Is there a Mad Max game for PS5?
No. Mad Max was on PS4. It never got a PS5 remaster because it didn't do very well in sales, despite being a very good game.
Don't want to take any chances.
However, you can buy it digitally for PS4 and play it on the PS5. I do have it installed for PS4. I might stream it at some point, actually.
Seem to be back to normal.
Why not? I haven't streamed the Mad Max game. That game's fun.
She was a little off.
Hmm.
I think this whole situation has her spooked.
I also have a Blade Runner game that I might stream at some point, too. I have a lot of games.
This is all happening so fast. But she usually doesn't scare easy.
She's off. Totally off.
Yeah, there was something a little off about her.
Like that talk about sending a distress call?
She's totally off.
She was
Blade Runner.
I'm sure she'll
Yeah.
come to her senses.
Yeah, Blade Runner, as in Harrison Ford Blade Runner. Yeah. There was a game, there was a point-and-click adventure game, a Blade Runner point-and-click adventure game by Westwood Studios back in the day. It was made in 1997 by Westwood Studios, the company that made Command and Conquer. And it was originally a PC game until like last year or the year before when it got remastered for a console.
Blade Runner.
You have Blade Runner? Do you have like the PS4 version? Nice. Or do you mean the movie? So the game is set in the same timeline as the movie, except you play as another Blade Runner. You're not playing as Deckard. You're playing as Ray McCoy, who's another Blade Runner. And you see Deckard occasionally in the game, but you're on like totally different. Yeah. So the game is based in the same universe as the movie. You're another Blade Runner doing a different case. And you meet up with a lot of the actors from the movie, and they are voiced by their actual actors, which is really cool. It was such a good game.
The Federation database has records from a vast number of civilizations. If anyone from Starfleet has come across this before, the system should recognize it.
And for new games, I picked up Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is really good. Kind of challenging. It's a challenging game, yeah. I might stream it at some point, but it's oh, that's obviously not the symbol. We want the Scions of the Flame symbol, which is
Are you excited for
that one.
Forza and Halo for PS5?
Am I excited for Forza and Halo on PS5? Halo for sure. Forza, yeah. Forza 5. Well, Forza 5 is already out, right? It's already on the store. It's not available to buy yet, but it's saying coming soon, so it's already on the store. Halo is not supposed to be coming out until closer to the summer, but Phil Spencer has said that by next year, most of the Xbox library will be on the PS5. So by next December, most, if not all, of the Xbox library is going to be on PS5, and that includes games like Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So that's really cool. I never would have seen I never thought I'd see the day when Microsoft Flight Simulator would be on PS5. But here we are. We're here. It's happening. So crazy. Crazy world, man.
99.2% match.
Got it.
So, what are we looking at?
The design and composition indicate this is a glyph associated with the ancient Khan Empire. Their civilization collapsed over 600,000 years ago, but once spanned millions of systems with a population numbering in the trillions.
Fascinating. The Takan were once the most advanced, most powerful civilization in the galaxy.
Do you play GT7?
Yes, I have Gran Turismo 7.
Know what they have.
There's also a free co-op version of the game as well if you wanted to test it out. It's called like My Gran Turismo or something like that. I've heard of the Takan.
Actually, I've heard of the Takan.
You have? Quite impressive, Commander.
Captain, I've heard of the Takan.
Enterprise D's discovery of a Takan outpost.
I am a Vulcan. I have completely heard of the Takan.
USS Enterprise D, under the command of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, discovered a Takan outpost in the Delphi Ardu system. According to the mission summary, an unbreakable energy-draining field was deployed against the Enterprise and a Ferengi ship. The Enterprise was only able to escape after negotiating their release with an entity.
I miss Majel Barrett as the voice of the ship's computer.
GT4, GT5, and GT6, GT Sport, GT7, GT Movie.
You could have just said you have all of them. You didn't have to list every single one. I've heard that the Gran Turismo movie sucks, so I've never seen it. Multiple friends of mine have said that it's terrible. All right, let's look up the Enterprise D. No, you're good.
Technology to capture and hold the Federation flagship would have to be unbelievably powerful. Computer, what else?
Takan Empire were the guys in the first TNG Ferengi episode, right? Last
Yep.
Outpost.
Yep. You are correct, Borderline. As a matter of fact, Portal 6-3, who was in that episode, is in this game. We will be seeing him shortly.
The engineering team found a quantized spin crystal formation in the shuttle you took to Hotari. They registered tetrametric radiation coming from it.
We have Takan technology on board right now?
They might. I'll run a full analysis in the containment lab.
Ferengi.
I'm such a nerd.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There appears to be some...
GT7 frustrated me with menu books just to customize a car.
A Starfleet directive similar to General Order 7.
GT7 was more simulator-based than all the previous Gran Turismos. It was more like a simulator. They wanted you to feel like you were an actual racer, so they made it very professional.
I suppose it makes sense considering...
I mean, it was hard for some people, but I mean, I completely understood what they were going. As somebody who plays a lot of simulator games, I can really respect GT7 for what it does. I love simulators. I love simulator games. As a matter of fact, in 2 days, I have a simulator game coming out for PS5 called Ambulance Life, made by Nacon, the guys who made the RoboCop game. And I'm really looking forward to it. It looks really good. And I will definitely be streaming that. I will definitely be streaming that ambulance game at some point this week or next.
It was by his choice that the Enterprise was...
I'm a big sucker for simulators.
After Commander William T. Riker of the Away Team argued on behalf of both Starfleet...
As some of my OG subscribers should know, I love my simulator games. You can find a lot of games a lot of simulator games that I've played in the past on my YouTube channel.
I am going to get RC and Terminator.
Yeah, so wait, so Terminator Resistance you mean? Because there's another Terminator game coming out. But that one's online only. Yeah, Terminator Resistance is amazing. And RoboCop is a work of art in my opinion. That game is one of the best looking games on the PS5. Using Unreal Engine 5 to its max potential to make the environment look completely stunning.
Yes,
Resistance, yeah.
Ardu 4 is an M-class planet, a barren rocky world with little to no vegetation.
So Resistance is their first game. It's Teon's very first game, so don't go into it thinking it's going to be looking exactly like RoboCop, because it's not, because it's like 3 years older than RoboCop. It's an older game. It's funny because Teon's history with video games was not good. Their very first game was Rambo on the PS3, and that game was terrible.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator PS5.
No, absolutely not. Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't voice in video games. He doesn't like video games.
Greater than we can imagine.
We need to go to those mines. We need to go to those mines.
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, no, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's not even in the Mortal Kombat games. They just use sound-alikes. Arnold has never... The only time he ever did any game, and it was only once, it was in Predator Hunting Grounds. By the guys who made the Friday the 13th game.
Commander Rydex right.
Ilphonic.
Rambo, another expensive game, 307.
I don't understand why that game bombed, man. That game was terrible when it came out on PS3. It was a on-rails shooter. So all you didn't even have control over the character. It was just like a scrolling screen, and you shot everybody on the screen. Then it would go to the next scene, and you shoot everybody. Then you go to the next screen and shoot everybody. You didn't have any control over.
Ultimate Edition.
I've got all the Mortal Kombat games. I've got all of them. I'm excited to play as T-1000 in Terminator in Mortal Kombat 1. No. Doom had more control than the Rambo game. No, because in Doom you could walk around. In Rambo you can't walk around. It's literally like a side scroller. The screen is scrolling from the right to the left, and you're just shooting at people. It's like an old arcade game. You're just shooting at people that pop up on the screen. That's what Rambo was. And that's why it failed. Because it was terrible. It was barely a game. Nobody wants that anymore in this day and age.
Like Rebel Assault.
No. Rebel Assault had more control than that. No, absolutely not, man. No, this game was more like, I don't even know how to describe what it was like. It was like fucking Duck Hunt, maybe. Maybe that. If that's not even a good example either. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It was just an on-rails shooter. That's the best way I can describe it. It was bad. It graphically it looked really bad. Rambo didn't look like Rambo. I don't know. It was their first game. And so once that game came out, everybody's looking forward to it. It comes out, it bombed completely. It did terrible. And then everybody just thought the company sucked and nobody wanted to see them again. And they didn't make another game until Terminator Resistance on the PS4. And once they released that on PS4, they totally redeemed themselves. That game was amazing. And then they remastered it for PS5. And then they did RoboCop. And their next game is going to be Judge Dredd.
I'll get the away team in and out. They're in safe hands with me.
Under normal circumstances, that would be the case. Given the sensitive nature of this incursion, I'm afraid you'll have to go it alone. I'm hoping Tyler's can accompany you. The priority is to avoid detection. It's a calculated risk. The last thing we need
I can't wait for Blade PS5 game.
Aggravating an already tense
Blade? I didn't even know they were making a Blade PS5 game. That's weird. Why would you Blade? Really? That's the first I've heard of that. Tylus will be essential.
Alice will be essential to my success. Not only her knowledge of
Transformers, roll out!
Particularly now that we know which mind we need to get into.
Make sure she understands.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's the first I've heard of that. I'm not really a big Blade fan, to be honest, so maybe. I know who Blade is. I know my Marvel and DC characters, don't worry. That's part of the reason I'm a nerd.
It would seem we no longer have the luxury of waiting. In that case, may I suggest you and I return to Hotari Prime. Doing so will provide her mission.
Agreed. We'll hail the Queen's delegation from my ready room. We all know what we need to do. Dismissed.
Yeah, later, man.
Marvel.
I'll just beam down on the planet, okay? You can stay here and twiddle your thumbs. Why was there 2 shuttlecrafts? That was weird. Did you see that? There was like literally 2 shuttlecrafts that came out.
Where is the crystal formation that you found in the shuttle? I have tasked Ensign Calloway with performing a full analysis of the tetrametric pulses.
Security brought it to the containment lab.
I was just there.
They don't know anything about it. Security never checked it in.
I think that's where we're going to end our stream. We're at 3 hours and 21 minutes. That's crazy. Normally I only go for 2 hours. That's a long stream. So we're going to end it there. It auto-saves.
Obsessed with Marvel.
Your friend at school is obsessed with Marvel. Fair enough. Anyway, thank you very much to Twilight Sparkle, Stu's Game Reviews, and I can never remember your name, man, the other guy who's here watching. Thank you very much to all of you for tuning into tonight's live stream of Star Trek Resurgence on the PS5. This game was originally on PS4. It came out really buggy, so when I streamed it on PS4 about a year or two ago, it was a buggy mess. We're talking like dialogue missing, game crashes, everything. So I really wanted to restream it at a later date on the PS5, and so that's why I decided to do that tonight. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. Have a wonderful night. Tune in within the next couple of days. We're going to be going into some other games, some more modern games, because we have streamed this before on this channel, so we're going to go into probably a simulator of some kind. Maybe a taxi simulator. I got a taxi simulator that runs on Unreal Engine 5 and is very pretty. But I don't know. I'm thinking what I'm going to do next. Normally I have an idea of what I'm going to do next, but this time I really don't. So I'm going to have to go through my game list and figure it out. But it'll probably be an adventure game, or it'll be a simulator, or it'll be something like that. But until then, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you very much for tuning in again. And if you missed any of the previous live streams, check them out in the playlist section. I cover PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC, and VR games. And if any of you like that, please consider liking and subscribing. I do have also games that I've streamed that have never been publicly released. So I did have access to, for a while, games that were in production but never ended up coming out for the general public. I have streamed those games in the past, so you can check them out in the playlist section as well. And remember to tune in every Friday night at 10:15 p.m. on Olav Productions channel for the Pirates of the Geek Vortex podcast. I'm a co-host over at that podcast, and we discuss the latest in movies, TV shows, board games, video games, basically everything nerdy. So check out that podcast whenever you get a chance. And until then, we'll see you soon at the Gamer's Grotto. Take care once again, guys. Have a wonderful night. And we'll see you in a couple of days for, I guess, a taxi simulator or something like that. Take care, guys. Have a good one.